right, let's do this. You ready to pod? Camera's recording. George is here. Greg is here. Yo, Sneak This Podcast, episode 200. I'm gonna start over.
No, you don't.
I have to start over.
Man, if you don't.
I have to. Once things get unadjusted, it throws my game off.
Right.
Throws my pod game off. You good? You ready? Ready to pod?
Man,
yo,
don't stop.
Yo,
you must have took some new medicine this week or something.
Yes. Yo, Sneak This Podcast, episode 243. George, Greg, back in the building. I forgot how to start the show.
You forgot everybody.
Appreciate everybody who subscribe this podcast, share it, all that stuff. You know, obviously, we appreciate everybody who comments on YouTube and stuff. Oh my goodness, I forgot to tell you. I meant to ask you if you saw that one person commented with their address in the YouTube comments. I deleted it.
Good. You should have deleted that other comment. I'm only going to talk about it for 3 seconds because I'm not going to give it too much energy. But
give it too much energy.
I'm assuming here, but some moron put Johnson & Johnson in the thing. I'm assuming it has to do with the vaccine getting stopped or whatever because of what we talked about.
I mean, I figured, but I don't remember us. I couldn't remember
7 million doses were given out, and there were 8 cases of blood clots. So for people who know how to do math out there, figure it out. I think the federal government's not taking it seriously when they pause an entire vaccine for 8 out of 7 million. You don't know anything about life. You need to go jump up.
I was like, I didn't know if it was something particular with that, or was it like made a joke, like call something Johnson & Johnson. I thought I had said Johnson & Johnson about something we was joking about.
I mean, you might be right, but
well, I don't remember.
I hope that's what it was, because if it was somebody who was laughing about that, man, shoot you.
Okay. Appreciate everybody who subscribe to this podcast. Like I said, appreciate everybody who comments. Dang. Oh, yeah, you do got to pick up. Dang. Yo, once again, I want to say I definitely appreciate. This is week 2 of the Respect Your Shoes campaign.
Are you saying every week who won, or are you waiting till the end?
I'm not gonna say who won because I'm not gonna say who won, but
and you can't win more than once.
Yeah, you definitely can't win more than once. But I will.
You can send your address, but you can't win more than once.
I will say this. So we probably had, no joke, maybe around 380 to 450 people send me their address and stuff. People were still sending me their address last night. Let me tell you something. You lost. All right. Once again,
people like free stuff.
First of all, shout out to like I said, to Shoot MGK, man. Like, I used the cleaner this weekend on Jordan 1 lows and Vans, because that to me is the definition on whether you can get something clean. That rubber on the bottom of the Jordan 1 lows and on Vans are the hardest to clean. Shout out to them, got them clean, and I used the air freshener for the first time. It smells really good, you know what I mean? So I used the entire thing, you know. I wanted to spray, because it works on hats and everything. I wanted to spray the repellent on this hat before I wore it because, I mean, it's a white hat. You know what I mean? But I haven't yet. But that's the kit you get. Shout out to all the winners who won last week.
Did you tell them what's in here? You don't even think
I did last week. But you get the cleaner. You get 2 cleaners. You get a brush. And you get stain repellent and air freshener.
It's like kind of a hard bristle. And not really hard bristle, but it's like
a medium.
It's like, probably fine for like leather and synthetic and stuff, but I wouldn't use this on suede, I don't think. Suede.
No, it works pretty good on suede too. Like, it works pretty good on all materials.
Suede, you might want to be a little more careful, but I don't clean shoes.
Shout out to MGK, man. Like, I will tell you that, like, one of the best. I mean, we talk about wins and losses all the time. You take care of your sneakers long enough, man, because you don't know when your next win is going to come. That's the air freshener. That joy smells good. But appreciate the 5 who won. You guys' stuff has already been sent.
Important right here.
You guys your information has already been sent to the company, and they're going to get those out to you guys. Like George said, you can't win again. And I'm doing it different this week, all right? Because I felt like it was really unfair to those who wait for the video. So I upload the podcast. As soon as I leave here, I usually get home around like 9:30, whatever. I get the podcast loaded on all platforms by like 10 o'clock, 10:30. By 11 o'clock, I already had 2 entries. People had already claimed it. Like, people who work late at night.
Super fans, B.
Well, they're at work late at night. They're like, oh, shoot, when a podcast is coming up, because they can get to it at night or whatever. They don't watch the video. So I felt a little bad, because by the time I woke up in the morning, it was already about at least a good 55, entries already. And I was like, well, that sucks, because I haven't even started editing the video yet. So this week, like I said, same rules. address, DM me on IG. Do not DM me on Twitter. You DM me on Twitter, I will not. You disqualified. All right. Once again, if you DM me and I respond with "got it," you're good. If I don't respond to you at all, that means you didn't get it. That's what I responded to him. I said "got it." I responded with "got it." So shout out to them. Like I said, the information got sent over. But Instagram, DM your address, and I will say the sneaker of the week. So send that in the DM as well. All right. Let me tell you something too. Even if you get it to me ahead of time, you got to spell the sneaker right. All right. There's a lot of people spell challenge weird. All right. I even got a text. even got a text TECK. I was like, oh, no. Now it was late. They had no chance of winning anyway.
K and H are close on the keyboards.
Don't do that.
They're right next to each other.
They're close on the keyboard, but I don't know, man.
And the phone board. What do you call it?
Okay.
Phone keyboard?
Okay. So, but this time, I'm not going to say the sneaker in the audio. I'm going to say it in the audio, but I'm going to cut it out the audio. You got to watch the video to hear what the sneaker of the week is. So anybody who listens to this podcast on audio, you will not be able to participate in this week's campaign. 5 kits a week. This is week 2. So 5 people who DM me their address and the secret sneaker of the week will get a kit. All right. I can say the secret sneaker right now, or I can say it at the very last second of the show.
So what's different?
Nothing's different. You just got to watch the video to hear the sneaker.
Well, I don't get it.
How?
So, but how are you going to determine they've watched the video?
If they know what the sneaker is.
Oh, you're only putting a picture. You're not saying.
I'm going to say it. But in the audio, I'm just going to blink it out. You can't hear it. Trust me. I'm an editing god, B.
I'm not saying that's not the point. I'm not saying you can't do it. Obviously, you can do it.
I'm trying to make it fair for
more.
people.
I know what you're trying to do. I'm saying you create more work for yourself.
No, it's not that hard. It's a piece of cake. I just got to remember.
Find it.
Yeah, but I remember if I say it between a topic, I can remember where it's at. So it's all good. Don't worry about it, B. I got this. I'm trying to make it fair, all right?
It's supposed to be fair, but what I'm saying is you create more work for yourself.
Nah, it's all good, B. I got it. Editing God. Shout out to
It has nothing to do with editing.
Shout out to Shoe MGK. Like I said, you get all this. Clean your shoes. Super concentrated. I'm telling you, 2 drops. Boop, boop. Sneakers will clean. Facts.
Yes, just drop it on the sneaker and don't do any work.
You can drop it on the brush. Or the sneaker. Do what you got to do. Wipe it off clean. Shining.
What, you don't need water?
I will tell you this. Yeah, you put it in the water. 2 drops in the water. Okay. Or you put it on the brush.
You got to be clear.
Dip it.
Look, H and K right next to each other. Kind of. J's in the middle, but close enough. Damn, I hit H and K, mix it up all the time.
I think they were spelling tech. All right? I don't think they were spelling tech.
Tech 9.
There's a difference. They were spelling tech, not tech. All right. I don't know who this is from because I can't remember. I appreciate it. We got a package today. I know how much y'all love to hear us eat on camera, so we won't do too much, but I'm definitely going to eat something because I specifically knew that these were snacks, and I said to myself, I'm not eating before this podcast, all right? Because I'm definitely going to hear it, and I see that it came from, looks like Louisiana, all right? I don't know what what city is WL in Louisiana? You've been there before. I've never been to Louisiana. It just says WLLA. Who knows?
Warren Lotus.
Warren Lotus, Louisiana.
No idea.
So let's open this up, George. I know you're hungry. Ooh, I can't remember. And if you ask me for my address to send these and I can't remember, my bad. You want to read this, George? Go ahead. It says from Ryan. I think it's from Simple.
Yes. This says Cowboys suck.
So it doesn't. It does.
Yep. Simple would say something like that, but I don't think Simple's a Saints fan. So, Greg and George and all the assorted Sneak Diss podcast co-hosts, guest hosts.
Oh my God!
First, what?
I don't know. I just see cinnamon.
Must be a full snake in there.
It says cinnamon gator puffs. Is this alligator? Ooh.
First and foremost, keep up the great work on the pod. Being from Louisiana, 2020 was an especially rough year. We got slapped with 2 devastating hurricanes on top of the Rona. Then 2021, we got hit with an ice storm, and I personally got COVID. Yeah, that's rough. That ice storm didn't only hit Texas. A lot of people don't realize that.
Being cold, shivering with COVID has to be whack.
Actually, it probably would help your body cool down from the temperature.
Oh my God, I know these are good.
Zaps.
Oh my
good.
God. jalapeno flavor. We had the barbecue ones, right?
Zaps are fires. They sell Zaps out here, though. A lot of the chips that people send us, you can't buy out here. You can actually find those out here.
This voodoo flavor?
Yeah, those are fire. But Voodoo Hot is even better. That's the one Hannah likes.
Ooh.
There's a place downtown, like a new pizzeria that has Creole something. I took a picture not too long ago, but they have Zaps something Creole or something.
I'm not gonna lie to you, man.
Through it all, I've relied on you guys for entertainment and escape from madness around here. As a thank you, I wanted to send you guys some Louisiana treats. I hope you guys enjoy. I included 2 of everything, but y'all split it however y'all want. From Brian, not simple. This is for Greg. Please be sure to read this. So you read the bottom.
Who that? Cowboys suck. You suck. Fam.
Appreciate it.
This might be the number one.
There's no address or anything on here, so we can just throw that like that.
This might be number one in the snacks so far.
Hopefully that's focusing.
Look at that. Cajun Dill Gator Taters.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
Fam, don't do that. Which one you want to take?
The
You tasting any right now?
The voodoo ones are good. I already know that for a fact.
Are you tasting any right now?
Yeah.
Oh my! Look at that regular. Oh my God! If I'm about to go home, if I'm about to stop at the
I can't
gas
see
station to
what's
get a
in
hot
there.
dog.
All right.
Man, this is like the best like stuff to eat. Like if you watching a game and you get
hot and spicy cheese curls.
Fam,
All right.
2 hot dogs with like barbecue sauce on it, and some jalapenos and onions.
Why is what's that?
Where do I start?
What's that? Not Little Caesars. What's the pizza place for little kids? Why is he on here?
Oh, that's Chuck E. Cheese.
Chuck E. Cheese on here, no?
His name Elmer. Fam, I'm about to. I don't even know what
these are
getting,
baked.
man.
You might not like these because they're not like fully deep fried.
Fam, I like baked chips.
Greg only eats the unhealthy stuff.
Facts.
My God. These are good.
Is that like spicy?
It's not spicy. It's like enough flavor to like kind of make it seem like it's spicy, but it ain't really spicy. Which means it's perfect.
So it's like KC Masterpiece barbecue sauce.
It tastes a little bit like barbecue. These are fire.
Oh my goodness.
These are unreal fire. So whenever I go to Louisiana next, I'm definitely copying
The
these.
flavor in my mouth
All right.
is banging.
These are actually made in Nolans.
Oh my goodness. Now look at them dolls with them needles in it. That's actual voodoo. Oh my goodness, fam. If you're going to inject me with that much flavor, you can put me with needles too.
You got to chill out.
If y'all like hearing us true, you might want to fast forward just about 45 seconds.
Try our other baked snacks. Original Chewies.
Oh my goodness, this is so good.
These got no preservatives in them.
You know what?
No preservatives.
I'll take one of them. You don't want to take one of these?
He said there's 2 of everything, so
Oh,
there should be another one of those.
you right. But I just want to taste it now.
Regular flavor. What else is in there?
Everything.
What else is in there?
Yeah. Oh my goodness. These like Cheetos?
Those are fire. They're way better than Cheetos.
I hate Cheetos. Unless they cheese puffs.
Those are way better. I think.
Oh my God. I can taste the bayou, fam.
Right.
Man, these joints are delicious.
I think Hannah would like those.
The seasoning that is in my mouth.
No,
Pause.
These ain't Gator Puff. I mean, it says Gator Puff, but it's not Gator.
Fam, these joints are spicy. They're baked with 1/3 of the less fat. And look at this mouse. This mouse got on white shoes like Pops from Wayne's
Barbecue
Brothers.
Chewies.
Oh my goodness. These joints are immaculate. All right. The flavor that is raging through my body.
Can you order those from like the corporate website? Because I might have to order like a case of those.
Oh,
Bam, chill out. Cinnamon roll. I'm about to open this cinnamon roll.
yeah, I'm about to eat this cinnamon roll Gator Puff right now.
Oh, you already got one? Open that one up.
Oh my goodness, fam. Too much flavor. I'm not eating dinner tonight. I mean snacks.
You're out of control.
Look, man.
I'm still getting super nachos. I don't care.
We appreciate everybody who sends us stuff. Let me tell you something. The homie Ryan, boy, give me all a run for y'all money. Somebody better send us some steaks or something. Fam.
Dang, sea salt caramel.
Oh my goodness.
Butter toffee.
Fam. This is what alligator tastes like?
All right. You better chill out, alligator.
Let an alligator come up and try to get me. I'll bite him first. He tastes like this.
You're an actual fool.
Bruh. The caramel is melted to perfection on top of these. Don't nod without saying something.
They're good.
Good? These joints are fire.
Those are better, but they're good.
I mean, that's savory. That's just sweet.
Yeah,
that's my dinner. That's my dessert.
All right. You chill
Oh,
out.
my goodness. Look, man, I know some of y'all don't like hearing us eat on podcast, but these joints are delicious.
These are better.
Shout out to Rouse's Market Cinnamon Roll Gator
Oh, no.
Puffs. Shout out to Zaps. Shout out to that mouse. What's his name? Elmer's Cheese Puffs. Fam, these joints are gluten-free, zero fat, and low sodium. I'm getting healthier as I eat them. It says recommended serving, 2/3 cup. Fam, I mean the bag. All right? I don't follow recommended servings. I don't believe in calories. I don't believe in stuff like that. Oh, my God. I got to stop. Well, good, B. Fam, what you got for pickups, B? Yo, shout out to the homie Ryan from Louisiana. Woo. Oh, my goodness.
That was a spicy bite right
Fam,
there.
if you eat a cinnamon one and a spicy one, don't do that. Recipe.
Don't do that.
That's a recipe. Sweet and savory. Saw that on Food Network.
Chocolate covered bacon.
I saw it on Chopped. I saw a bacon maple donut.
You're a fool.
Have you actually had one of them donuts with bacon on it?
Yep.
I did not like it.
The chocolate covered bacon at Becca's table is good.
Oh, that's good.
But I'm not eating a donut, no.
The donut with the chocolate on it, they didn't drain the grease off enough. Like, you got to take the bacon off the griddle,
That's
put it in a
gross.
paper towel, and you got to squeeze it tightly to get the grease off. Then you put it on the donut.
That's gross.
Are you crazy?
No, I'm saying it's gross if it's like grease.
Oh, yeah, it was greasy. My fingers were shining.
All
Like
right.
I had Carmex. You put your finger in Carmex, that classic oil you
That's
spin the
nasty.
top on.
That's suspect. No?
I'm gonna get you, I'm gonna have the homie send you some beard shine, beard oil.
All right.
George trying to get that beard, that Grizzly
This
Adams.
beard will be gone soon.
Why? Grow it out. Keep it.
I was
I'm trying to see that joint hit the flow.
Oh, trash.
Hit it on the flow.
Pickups are I hit on the restock. Nike the dunk. What's it called? Make your own dunk.
Make your own Nike by George.
Yeah, Nike by dunk.
What did you make? Because we didn't even talk about it. I got to the text thread after you guys had like been conversating about it. I was like, dang it. I went to it and I was trying to go to my designs, but then like literally went to my designs.
All I did was log in and it
was.
was already there. I logged in, it was there, and I checked out. I was like 3 clicks. It was done.
What'd you get? What colors? What'd you do?
The only one, the one that I wanted, white with the gray suede swoosh and the gum sole.
I saw a few people get it, dude. Shout out to one of the homegirls who follow us on social
They didn't make it
media.
as good as me. Pause.
We'll say, what? It's the exact same one.
No, it's not. Mine got actual love in it.
And you put no love into it. If you went on there, it was already there.
Yeah, I made it already. The site actually worked for once.
Shout out to
Worked the way it's supposed to work.
Michelle. Mish W. Swish. I think she had posted that she got the same pair. I could be wrong. But if not, shout out to her anyways. What else you cop? That was it?
That was it.
You hyped for them, right?
I did cop.
Well, you get a 12 or a 12 and a half.
Nah, 12. I did cop 11 lows. I got early access. Legend Blues. I mean, they're already sold, so.
I'm amazed that they still making 11 lows.
And I cop sports cards.
Did you buy any from Edith Sozana?
Uh,
Oh, okay. I'm surprised they're still making 11 lows. 11 lows might be one of the like.
So it's a. Now, all right. So we're in April, but if Nike, I mean that's what helps Nike get back in the black for the year at the end of the year or whatever. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, a regular 11, not 11 lows.
fam, they make so much money off that shite.
Man, them 11 lows are $200.
185. When I looked at the price, like I was like, what?
Were they always that much? There's
When
only
was the last time I bought an 11?
there's only 2 11 lows that matter: Black Reds
Nope.
and Concords.
Nope.
That's it.
Nope.
Which ones?
None. Maybe,
IEs?
maybe Concords. Oh
IE?
yeah, those do.
IEs matter. IE's the greatest Jordan Low 11 of all time.
It might be the greatest low.
Did anybody ever
Period.
tell us? IE is what?
It either means international exclusive or international something. The first word's international. The second word's either exclusive or another E word. I don't know.
I thought it was inclusive, exclusive.
All right.
Bars.
Yes, you and
What'd you buy? Some packs of cards? Some
you-
boxes of cards?
Joe Budden. What's up with that, by the way? You haven't given me no update on that.
On what?
What's up with Budden and them?
Nothing. Same old, same old. They're not on anymore, so that's that.
Or it was over, period?
Yep. So they got Ice and what's his name? The other homies. No, they got the other homies on there, but I haven't listened since Marlon ain't been on there. So, but I'm gonna get back to listening. I figure I'm not gonna act like that because when Ryan didn't come back, people still listen to us. So I don't want to be that guy.
I haven't listened to any shows in a long time. Like no shows. I don't even listen to Charlemagne, Schultz Head, none of them. I used to watch that Schultz Head to just to be angry at what stupid shit they would say, and now I don't even care anymore.
You want Flagrant too?
Yeah.
See, I don't want. I try to, but it's too much for me.
Because people think, and I think it's the people who want to hear those like political opinions that, like, I don't think Schultz is like, you know, a Trump person or whatever, but he's like the comedian who thinks you can say whatever you want because you're a comedian.
No, you can't. And I like that.
No.
I like that.
No.
I like that.
You can't be it. There's no such thing as absolute anything.
Okay.
There's a line for everything. So yes, you're a comedian. You can get away with some stuff, but you can't say like you can't just be like because I'm a comedian I can say whatever I want. No, that's not how it works. You still can say things that are like you can't scream fire in a crowded space or whatever. Like you can't do stuff that's illegal. I'm saying like freedom of speech doesn't cover everything. It covers a lot of stuff, but not everything.
That's a different scenario.
No, like I'm just making the point that it doesn't. There's nothing that's absolutism, and he believes in absolutism, and he says a lot of stuff that I'm like, fam, if you said that in the streets, you would be beat up. I'm sorry. Period.
I know because he's a comedian.
No, but people not gonna look at it like that. They don't know who he is.
I don't know, man. I kind of agree with it. That's one of the things I do like about him is that. Like, I feel like, you know what?
There's no such thing as absolutism in anything except death and taxes. And even taxes, there's not an absolutism because certain people don't pay them.
We grew up in a specific era of comedy, okay? And I'm talking from your Def Comedy Jams to your, not Ronnie Dangerfield. What's the guy with the leather jacket? You know, it's wild stuff. I can't think of his name. Big dude.
Yeah.
You know.
I know you're talking about Andrew Dice Clay.
Dice Clay. Like, we grew up in that era of, like, whoa, like, type comedy. I go back and watch some of that stuff, like, on YouTube, and I'm like, man, that wouldn't fly. I mean, just some of the verbiage and stuff that they used back then and all that. But it was like, this is jokes. That's what we came here, like, to get away from.
But I'm not talking about But see, that's the point. I'm not talking about when you're doing like a show, when you're doing like your TV show or you're on stage.
It's on a podcast.
No, that's what I'm saying. TV show, podcast, same thing. When you're on a show or on your stage, that's fine. But when you say I'm an absolutist, that means you take it into your personal life too. No, you can't just be one way on stage and completely different in your personal life.
I'm amongst people that my friends and stuff. I don't see why I can't be.
But it's not about what you say, it's what you believe. If you believe something that like goes against certain rules that are like generally accepted by society, like don't be racist. It's a pretty simple rule.
Oh, I've never took him as anything like that. Like he.
No, I'm not. I'm not saying he is. I'm saying like he'll take the side of any comedian regardless what they say because of the simple fact they're a comedian.
Oh, not all the time. I know what you're I know what you're saying, but not all the time.
You just disagree with that. Now you agree with it?
No. It depends on what you're talking about.
If someone's in the midst of their show, unless they're Kramer or whatever, when he just was yelling the N-word to somebody in the crowd, then yes, you're in the middle of your show. No one should be a paying customer and go to your show and be like offended. But at the same time, when you're not on stage and you're normal, I don't believe in free speech absolutism. I believe that you feel free to whatever you say, but you got to be responsible for your words. People feel like they can say anything and not be responsible for it. That's not how it works.
Responsible for it, but like I just don't care when people.
I don't care what you say, but you need to take responsibility for it.
Oh, what does responsibility mean?
If you say something that's illegal, you get arrested. If you say something that gets you beat up, you get beat up.
No, that's perfectly fine. Like I don't believe he believes in that. Like. You can't be mad at somebody for being offended. Like, if I say something that offends you, you beat me up, that's my fault. Like, that's the thing.
Okay, so then you agree with me.
Okay, yes, but I didn't know, like, I don't agree that he can't say it. Like, he doesn't have to say it.
No, I didn't say that.
Oh, okay.
I'm not trying to shut anybody's speech down.
See, I thought you were trying to say he shouldn't be saying it.
No. I believe in free speech absolutism in terms of you can say whatever you want. Right. But you have to be responsible for the consequences.
Oh, no, 100%. I say that on this podcast all the time. When I tell that story all the time, that lady talked crazy to me in Chipotle, and I turned around and I said, lady, you don't know me. I could come over there and slap you and your kids in the face. Like, you took the risk of doing that. I believe 100% in that. If somebody come in here and says I'm crazy to us and we jump them, that's your fault. Now we shouldn't be getting in trouble, but still, that's your fault. I agree with that.
Yeah,
what kind of cards you buy? What'd you buy? When do your cards come back from PSA?
Actually,
because Johnny had the cards come back.
Yeah, but I think he sent those a long time ago. I sent an email today to see at what stage it's in. So I don't know. I mean, it should be faster now because they shut down submissions on the beginning of April, maybe. They are the only submissions they're accepting is like the ones that's like 3 days or less, like called Super Express. It's like, and it's $300 a card. So that's if you have a card that's like $5,000-$10,000 or whatever, and you don't mind paying $300.
I mean, you already know it's $5,000 or $10,000 before sending it. Like even at any level.
Yes. I mean, I wouldn't send it unless it was worth more than $300 raw, just a card. Because if it's worth more than $300 raw, and like say you have a card that's like a $400 card, and you get a PSA 10, and a PSA 10's $4,000, you get a PSA 9, and PSA 9's like $900 or something. So you're confident that you're at least going to get a 9, and it'll be worth $900. So you don't mind paying the $300. But if you get like an 8. Then you have to crack it out and sell it raw. And if it's less than $300, you just lost money. You know what I mean?
I feel like they should charge you based on like when you get your card and then what it's valued. Then they say, all right, look.
That's how they do it. If you pay for the cheaper service and then they get it and they grade it higher, they can upcharge you based on that.
Why?
That's just how it works.
That's whack. I chose the service you offered.
Because it's,
like, what makes you say,
based on the card value.
Wait a minute. So if I send a card and I don't know the value and I ship it to
no, you have to put you have to declare value on the form when you submit it.
Okay.
So you have to look it up on eBay or auction sites or whatever. So you have to be in the ballpark. If you lie about it, like some people, what they were doing before PSA raised their prices was PSA's lowest service level was either $99 or $199 on the value of the card raw. But people would send like a $2,000 card and just say it's it's $50 or whatever. And some people will get away with it and some people won't. So if it grades a 10 and because it's now a 10, it's like a $20,000 card, they're going to upcharge you the difference.
I was going to say, I'm like, if I just send a card and say,
it depends on what they grade it. Like if you sent something that was like a $5,000 card and you paid for the service that was only $500, they're probably going to upcharge you anyways because that's a big difference. But if your card grades like an 8 and it doesn't get into that next tier of dollar value, they might just forego upcharging you. But upcharge is good because it means your card
but
probably scored well.
I mean, I would hate that.
Like everyone, in theory, everyone is happy when they get an upcharge because it means their order was successful.
Yeah, but the upcharge, do I get my card back faster?
No. So the speed is all based on what service level you choose.
Yeah, but what's the point of the upcharge then? Like I still get the same service.
Right.
So that's theft. That's a scam. If I send a card,
that's their rules.
And I say you could take 3 weeks to send it back to me, that means if you get it and let's say you check it within a week or whatever the block is, like I expect my card back the next day. If you're gonna send mine back next day if you upcharge me. So then like, if I send it express for the 300 and it comes back way lower, do they now downcharge me? Whatever you call it.
Nope.
Okay. That's a scam. No, cards are scams.
Business, huh?
Y'all out of control. Yeah, okay. Sounds like capitalism.
Yeah. Yeah. Duh.
Yeah. I have no
You don't
pickups.
see like Amazon out here apologizing for being the richest company in the world, do you?
Yeah, but the Amazon earns their richest company in the world. I'm going to tell you that.
Based on what? I mean, give me
Let me tell you something. If I go on my phone right now and be able to order something that could come tonight by 10 p.m., they earn that stuff. Even sometimes, even if I've had stuff
I guess I just have a problem with the word earn because they're notorious for not treating their employees well and stuff like that. Like
you're right, but so is Walmart and a lot of other places. Like Nike, everybody. Like it's not like
we already know that though.
Yeah, but like
I don't think anyone's holding Walmart up as like a glowing company or whatever. Like we just know they have a lot of money.
Right. And I've messaged eBay like, yo, I did the return thing. They've sent me the new item back and didn't even want the other item back. And I was like, oh, okay.
Oh, Amazon, you mean?
Yeah. And with Amazon too, like as soon as you mail stuff back, like they scan it at UPS, like to sit back.
Yeah, you get money.
I get my money back immediately. I'm like, yo, this is fire. So if it gets lost, they don't care.
Oh, they don't care about anything. They shipped Hannah like something that was worth like $200, and Hannah said, because Hannah's honest, obviously, we're honest, we're not gonna lie about it. Hannah was like, "You guys sent me this, and I didn't order it. I'll just keep it."
Yeah, we've done that plenty of times. I've got stuff on accident, like, oh shoot,
It was like a $200 item. They were, "I'll just keep it."
was it PlayStation 4?
A what?
PlayStation 4?
Yeah, all right.
They're like 200 now. I don't know. I tried to get a PlayStation 5 today because somebody needs one. And I'm like sending that queue or whatever. It goes way faster now. Like
Oh, you want to hear what queue I was in there while that was happening?
What?
So PSA is not accepting submissions for their other levels other than Super Express. So there's another company that does grading, and they do limited submissions so that they can meet the deadline. They only do 3,500 cards every order. Fam, it's like sneakers. You get in a virtual line, and it's like Sony. It's to pay them to grade your card. You're not getting nothing except that.
I can't. I blame sneakerheads for that too.
I mean,
I
blame
blame sneakerheads for any service that makes you wait in line right now. It originated with sneakers. All shopping, anything that is extremely difficult. Music tickets, concert tickets, baseball. It was a hard time for baseball tickets too. Baseball tickets. All that stuff is all sneakerheads' fault.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. 100%.
No, it's not.
None of those people had any issues until people started doing stuff with sneakers. Then people started taking what they did with sneakers and applying it to getting. I remember trying to buy some Taylor Swift tickets. Not Taylor Swift. Demi Lovato for some friends.
It's resellers. It's everyone. I was talking to Bluff Bagwell, the one who sent us those cards. He lives in Louisiana too, I think. I was talking to him today about because Topps did their thing like. Pop Shot. What's it called? The one where you just buy the electronic card. Topps did theirs today and released their first thing, and the website crashed. So he was talking about it. He was like, whatever Top Shot thing is, he was like, the business is making money, but he was like, it's not the same as it used to be, where you could just cop something and it's like instantly you buy like a $10 thing and it's worth $2,000. He was like, because all these people are getting in now who are just like quick flippers or whatever, they're doing what sneakerheads do, where they like undercut you by $1 on something, undercut you by $1 on a shoe on StockX, and then undercut you by another $1, and then it just keeps. So what it is just people trying to make a buck like that. Like that's just human nature, at least in this country. I mean.
And sneakerheads.
It's never gonna stop. It's not sneakerheads. It's people who, fam. You know how many people out there were reselling PPE that have nothing to do with sneakers? I mean, it's the same thing. People that go into toy stores and buy like. 100%. I went to Walmart looking for sports cars. I seen a man walk out with like a stack of look like Batman toys or something like that to the front.
I see somebody buying toys at Big Lots that like somehow amazingly on eBay worth a lot more money. He was in Big Lots and they were just sitting right there, and he bought them and showed the eBay sales things. He bought them joints for like $6 at Big Lots and sold them joints for like $48 on eBay.
Yeah, and
they were like, wrestling men, WWE people, whatever. And it was like this girl, these girls. They were just there. And he was like, showed himself on eBay. It's this cat I follow on Twitter. It shows all his stuff.
There's an app on, or someone developed an app where you go into Walmart and you scan the barcode on the shelf, and it'll tell you immediately what the price is on Amazon. And people will go in there and just buy. It's just called retail arbitrage. They just go in there and buy like whatever. Like if you could buy it for $6 and sell it for $12, or buy it for $6 and sell it for $9, I watched this one YouTube video. Dude spent $2,000 in Walmart in like 2 hours or whatever. I think he made $3,000 or something. Now he only made $1,000, but still, like from one day's work, he made $1,000.
I thought you would say 2001.
All right. Yes.
I got no pickups.
But there's an app. You just scan the thing and it tells you what the price is somewhere else.
And the person that
made crazy.
And the person that made the app
that's the
sitting
richest.
there like
yeah,
this.
They're the richest one. But that's how capitalism works. That's what it is.
Yeah, no, we need a Ponzi scheme or something. I cop nothing but Supreme. That's it. I got some Supreme shirts. That's all I cop.
You copped that jersey. What's that jersey?
Oh, I copped this a while ago. Cactus Flea Market. Just haven't wore it yet.
All right. Rich.
Yes.
Budget must be back where it was.
Durango came back too. Durango was bucking, boy. He back.
All right,
fam. When you
literally say you about to trade it.
soon as you touch the start engine button, that joint be like.
You literally just say you about to
Durango is back.
You literally just today say you about to trade it in for Amamanier 3s.
Fam, let me know if you need a ride anywhere, and you'll see the difference. Right. Oh my God, I go back to work. That's what's happening. Do you know that? I go back to work the 17th.
I thought you said June.
No, it was June, and now it's May 18th. Technically, I'm May 18th. I don't work Mondays.
Okay, so explain that.
Sucks.
Well, no, duh. What happened?
Nothing. They were just like, oh, sorry, we requested June, whatever the date was, but now they want us back. Now, me, I have to go back from my position. They want me back at full time, but my employees can come back 1 week on, 1 week off. That's whack.
Lit.
So, got to go back. I need motivation. I got a brand new office, so I got a window now, which is nice. I've never had a window before.
Which one is that?
Well, I had a window one time, Renee's old office.
Oh, damn, there's nothing but like desks and chairs and stuff stacked up in there.
So I'm about to go in there and paint. I'm about to buy some Funko dolls. I'm about to decorate that joint. I need motivation to go back to work.
You might not be able to find any. People resell them.
I have zero motivation to wake up. No, I'm going to be late to work at least the first 4 or 5 weeks. So. Like getting out the bed at 3:45 to get to work by 5 a.m., I don't think I could do it anymore. I physically can't do it anymore. Even when I wake up on time right now, I'm delirious. I have no idea what's going on. I was watching Winter Soldier and Falcon the other night. I couldn't stay awake. I was in the bed like this, trying to stay awake. I was trying to see what happens when Falcon got the shield. Have you watched it yet?
I've seen the first episode. That's it.
Oh, it's pretty good, man.
Yes, you woke up and Chris Bosh was pouring champagne on your face.
All right, it's good. But the Durango is back. I got Supreme. The Durango is back, and I go back to work. So I'm buying some suits. So you gonna see me wearing like at least 2 suits to work.
What?
Because I need motivation. I like to dress up when I go to work, so I need some suits. Like I can't, man. Fam, you gonna be seeing me walking through the building like a Kappa. Those homeboy used to see at work. We used to make fun of his clothes.
He had like 8 different patterns on it one day.
Man, one day he was wearing plaid, he was wearing chevron, he was wearing herringbone, he was wearing polka dots. He looked like a virus. He had the worst suit of all time. He looked like a petri dish. Yo, you get the microscope, you look there like, ew, look at all them things swimming around. What come out this week? That's your bag, B.
Potato chips, huh?
That's your bag. There's only 2 of them. That's yours. Because I'm going home. I'm about to tear them joints up. I'm about to put like a piece of ribeye on the grill. I'm about to be up late eating them boxes.
Chill out.
You better take the Oras for Hannah's and whatever and double them up because these snacks are unbelievable. They're unbelievable. Who sings that, Madonna?
Laley May Jordan 1.
Nope.
LeBron 95 Air Max.
You know what's whack is, that Lily May might have would have been all right, but coming out the same block of time as Amemenya.
Well, Laley May Jordan 1 sucks. And I'm not even saying that to like be a woman hater. It sucks.
It's whack. It's whack. It's one of them comfort 3s, comfort 1s or whatever. And supposedly it's women exclusive, which I don't know what that means.
Your account has to have a W on it, no?
When I made my Nike account and it asked me my sex, I chose not to tell. So then I should get access too.
Yeah, you should get both things. You definitely went out. I'm on your now.
Fam, I don't even know if we entered.
Nike Dunk Hawaii looks
whack.
better with the thing peeled off.
The what? Oh, Maui Walkies? Them joints are fire. Even with the stuff on it is fire.
Nah.
You crazy.
Looks better with the peeled off.
I mean, I guess it probably does look better with it off, but it's still fire with it on. I definitely want those. I was a little hating when Andrew had exclusive access.
He said it didn't ship. Maybe it didn't win.
I checked my stuff about 1,000,000 times. Like, maybe if I refresh, maybe I'll update the app. I went back and checked that one. I want that one.
You got Dunkensteins last year. No complaints out of you.
I don't even know what that is.
What's them Christmas dunks?
Oh, Clivers? Fam, Josh got Amemenya 3s. Josh gets everything now. He's the plug.
I went to that show. Are we talking about that is that a topic?
We'll talk about it later.
I didn't look at a single shoe. I didn't look at not one shoe. Not one. Kamikaze Candyland. You copy?
Nope.
Yeezy Boost Bright Blue.
Oh, I don't know. I haven't even entered
700.
yet. I'm probably going to enter for... Do you want it?
I'm sure they won't let me win, but I'm going to flip it if I get it.
Oh, so you don't want it to keep?
I do, but I would rather have sports cards.
You can still buy sneakers. You know that, right?
I mean, not the way I buy sports cards. You can't. You got to pick one hobby.
That's fine.
I think Hannah's bought more shoes in the last 2 months than I have.
Dang.
She got the Dunk Rainbow.
I'll tell Hannah to come take your seat.
The plug hooked her up. The Dunk Rainbow. She's trying to put the whole thing together.
What are you talking about? Dunk Rainbow?
Not Duck, Dunk.
Yeah, Dunk Rainbow. What is that?
All those like women dunks that came out recently.
Oh, I thought you meant like
the whole rainbow together.
A Dunk Rainbow. I'm like, they had a rainbow one? Oh.
The only one she didn't get was green, I think, the most recent one.
What else come out this week?
Legend Blue Lows, the one, they came out on the early access. Now they come out this weekend.
Legend Blue. Oh, them 11s. Whack. I hate that Legend Blue. They're just Colombian.
I took them out of the thing. They suck, but they don't suck. I mean, it was one of those things where like you could see like, oh yeah, I can see it, but then nah, same reaction. Yeezy 500 Inflame.
Them joints
Inflame.
are fire too.
They're all right.
Blanc said
Other one's
Yeezys are
better.
back.
Oh,
Like
right.
Yeezys never left.
He been saying that.
Fam, first of all, Blanc is one of the original Yeezy copper gods, all right? First of all, Yeezy, you know how Yeezys never left? Because I remember when Yeezy used to wear stuff, which made it fire. Yeezy, we don't even see Yeezy wear Yeezys no more. Like, they just cop. They just sell out. Like, talking about Yeezys are back. Blanc. Blancavelli.
It looks like the only other thing is maybe a Bape pack, a Bape camo pack.
Maybe.
That's it.
A lot of Bape stuff has been dropping lately. I've been getting a lot of alerts for like Bape on End and all these places. And I like
Let me
Bape
look at
stuff.
this
but,
other
woo,
calendar.
I almost bought a Bape shirt the other day and I was like, dang, man, I got too much paint on it to pay like $100. $130? I'm like, you put that joint in the washer one time? Nope. Monkey be faded. No?
All right.
Turn that monkey from a young monkey to an old monkey.
Yes, he got drunk.
He got gray hair.
Oh, Meunier. I didn't even say that one. I don't know why that's not on there.
Fam, I mean, the amount of people that through the podcast and stuff that have won is insane. All right. In the YouTube
Talking about
comments.
only women? What are you talking about everybody?
Men, women, like, I mean, I've been like, yo, got him. I know, through the podcast, at least a good 13, 14 people I know got him. Ruby got him. Ruby knows somebody else who got him. Josh got him. Like 3 or 4 comments in the Utah. Yo, I got him and my sister got him. Got him. I'm like, fam, everybody getting them. Now, I had a hard time trying to register, whatever it is for the thing. It didn't let
Mine went through right away, but I never got a confirmation
it
email.
didn't
so I
go
have no
through.
idea.
So then I was like, you know what? And I wasn't, at first I was like, what the heck? Because we were in the thread because Rico was losing his mind. And I was like, all right, look,
That's Tuesday.
we got 5 days. All right, cool. So I just let it ride for about 45 minutes and I got in, signed up, and I got the green thing at the bottom of the screen that said, your thing has
Successful.
been generated or whatever it is.
Yep.
Never got an email, never got nothing, but everybody else said they got emails. So
I didn't.
I didn't, you didn't, and Rico didn't. Andy did. So
Yeah, but he didn't win, so maybe it doesn't matter.
I hope I win. I mean, we still got till what, tomorrow? The 21st is the last day is tomorrow.
I thought it comes out tomorrow.
Well, it says that the last day of entry by the 21st or whatever. So maybe I thought it was going to be through tomorrow as well, or up to tomorrow. People were still getting them today. So like I was on Twitter and like maybe like 3 hours before we left the house, people were like, yo, thank you so much. And it said like 6 minutes ago. So we'll see, B.
Guess that's it. Space Hippie 01 Black Volts.
I'm not mad at those, but no. I seen somebody.
I will cop for under retail.
I've never seen anybody wear them yet, and I saw a guy wear them at my nephew's birthday party. You saw me on that bull, right?
Yeah.
Bucking B.
Wow, I know you probably
Fam.
got up and puked it when you got off.
No joke, I almost did.
Oh, I know you did.
My legs, I feel crazy. My pelvis, pause, out of control. I almost dislocated my hips. But I'm a good sport. I go to the party. Shout out to my Mexican family. Though I love my Mexican, my in-laws.
I thought you were at Westgate. That wasn't Westgate? Why are you laughing, huh? I thought I dead serious. I thought you were at Westgate.
It was in my in-laws' my other mother-in-law's backyard.
Why was that funny? I don't get it.
I mean, it was in a backyard. You didn't see them power lines and stuff?
No, I literally thought it was at Westgate.
No.
They got that at Westgate?
Inside of a place, probably. Fam, we was in the backyard.
Why they got that?
It was a birthday party.
That don't answer the question.
It was fun.
Fam, why do they got that?
Oh, no, we rented it. They don't just own one.
Okay.
All right, you thought they just, okay, relax.
Who rents one? Yeah,
Clearly, somebody
they must have grew up like with horses. Like,
oh yeah, of
actual
course.
horses.
Like they have, my father-in-law's family came in from Mexico because his son proposed to his girlfriend. We wasn't there for that, but it was a jam. Boy, it was a party. Boy, had the band there. It was jamming, boy. Ralph Lauren polos, American Eagle, and big sunglasses everywhere. B. Facts. That's facts. Our trumpets, trombones.
I'm just watch what I say.
Trumpets, trombones. It was cracking, though. Carne asada, chicken. Actually, no chicken.
That sounds good. Super nachos with lettuce on top.
Fam, you dying for some super nachos, though.
You right.
Get the super nachos and crumple some of that on top of it. Fam.
Nah,
you only be here next week.
This is mine. I got to leave this for Hannah.
What? Yeah, you ain't taking mine, B. Now you get
ain't happening.
No, I didn't. You could get a handful out of mine. You liar. Let's call the homie Zach real quick. Let me see. I gotta hit him up real quick. Tell him that we're about to hit him up. Let me see. I don't want to just call him on the thing because I can't remember if we called his cell phone or if we called like a Skype. But we are gonna talk about the Kobe Nike situation. So.
How's it going, guys?
Hey, what's up, man? I wasn't sure. Is this a Skype or your cell phone?
This is my cell phone.
Oh, okay. I figured it was. I was like, I can't remember if we had called you on Skype or just your cell phone the last time we talked to you. What's going on?
Yeah, not much. Just watching Rico's boys lose right now. Only watching a little baseball, the Mets.
Yeah, they are losing.
How about you guys?
Chilling. Obviously, podding today.
Nice.
A lot of stuff going on. You become quite the popular person.
I take it. I like it. But yeah, man, it's just, especially the past month, just with Nike and Kobe and everything. And I mean, it's always like this, but now it seems like it's accelerated even more.
Well, you know what's crazy is that, like, I was telling somebody, I was like, we, being a sneakerhead, we only focus on the sneakers and getting sneakers, but now it's like every single aspect of sneakers and companies and stuff has like made it up to the forefront with like sneakerheads. Now we're like hearing about Nike's legal team and trademarks and stuff like that. So it's now doing the podcast, obviously the first 3-4 years doing this podcast, we just get on here and play lawyer and stuff, but now we have an actual sneaker lawyer. So he does pro bono pro bono interviews for us. So.
Exactly. Well, I like it, dude. You guys are cool. I mean, you know how it is. And it just, you hit the nail on the head. I've been in the sneaker industry and not even thinking about it legally for forever, and then as it grows organically, as resellers get big and as bots come and as this, and everything evolves, you start like realizing, oh shit, I don't know what the heck I'm talking about. I need to have a lawyer. And like, even a lawyer, like I had no clue how it applies to sneakers until you think about it twice and 3 times because no one has really done that before.
All right. So just to give everybody a heads up, I know this is the hottest topic right now, but it was earlier this year, right, when that guy had said that Kobe was gonna leave, right?
I thought it was last calendar year, but I mean, we're only in April. So.
I think it was February or January last year, and he said it was the anniversary.
He could have guessed that. I mean,
maybe he could have, but like it gives him a little bit of validity. Like kind of trash.
That shoe that he showed was one of the worst things I've ever seen in my entire life.
I mean, it was one of the wackest shoes. But for everybody who knows, Kobe's contract has expired with Nike, and his wife Vanessa decided not to re-up on the contract, I guess. One of the reasons was due to limited availability of sneakers, Kobe's not being more available in kid sizes, and I guess money with the deal, whatever, which is none of our business. But talk to us about legal aspects of it with regards to what Nike can do, what happens with the line, logos, and all that stuff. Okay.
Yeah. So, you guys know the basis of this. After a contract ends, they have the option to renew it. And in this situation, being that Kobe passed and that everyone else that's on Kobe's status has a lifetime deal, that's sort of what Vanessa was expecting here, at least from what I read. And it sounded like Nike threw their best offer, but for whatever reason, she wasn't liking it. She just said it wasn't in the line of the lifetime contract that MJ got or the lifetime contract that LeBron got. So because of that, and it sounds like you guys are right. I think it was around December, or from when I saw it was December 2020, when the venture capitalist guy started mentioning that Kobe was talking to him about leaving and creating his own brand and doing all that. So there was definitely something brewing for the past year, at least. That's what I think.
Okay.
And yeah, Vanessa just walked away. And the important thing here, legally, to me, that's different than Kawhi, and that's different than I'll even go as far as saying Derrick Rose, and who else do we got? LeBron, is ownership of IP, ownership of your logo, your trademark. As using the Kawhi example, Nike and Kawhi got in a big battle over the claw logo, as you guys know.
Right.
And I'm looking at all the logos that Nike owns right now. Nike also owns a couple other logos for, Kyrie's logo, the King, LeBron's logo. So when they make these deals with these athletes, Nike wants to own the logo for this exact situation so that they have more control over them if they do decide to leave. But because Kobe's such a great player, or maybe he got such a great lawyer, or for whatever reason, Kobe was able to negotiate the ability to own his logo. And the most important logo to me was the one that you see on all of his shoes now, all the Pro shoes, the one with the little 3, it almost looks like a shield.
Yeah, the Kobe System logo. I think this was considered like the Kobe System or something like that.
Yeah,
the Mamba logo.
exactly.
The Mamba System, whatever it's called.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It looks like a little T almost in a way, like a Tesla kind of thing, but it's called a sheath or whatever it is. But that's the one that Nike used on almost all the shoes, the ones that I'm wearing right now, and almost all those shoes. So usually Kobe doesn't own that. Usually Nike owns that, like they do with LeBron and like they do with Kyrie's logo.
See,
but
I
in
was
this situation.
I was I automatically thought that Nike owned that one because immediately we always think like the first thing I thought was like, oh well, a lot of people may not. I mean, a lot of people realize that they have Kobe's, but like Kobe 3 through maybe 11 or all from like starting from 3 all the way to the end, they had that logo on it and they had Kobe's signature on it. Kobe's signature was always somewhere on the sneaker. I always thought, well, not always thought, but considering what we learned from yesterday, I thought, okay, Nike must own that Kobe System logo, whatever it's called, and then Kobe wanted to have the autograph on it as something additional, as that. Like they can't clearly own that. So
Exactly. Yeah, you're right. And they usually do. That's why this is sort of not groundbreaking, but this is different, They usually do. Even for athletes like Kawhi, Nike owned it with Kawhi. But obviously Kobe's such a great player and such a great athlete that they were able to negotiate the fact that Kobe could own it. And that's what makes this deal important, because even the signature, like you said, even the signature is an aspect that you could own and you could apply as a trademark. So Kobe's company not only owns that sheath logo, which is on every shoe, but they also own the new logos that they applied for in the past 2 years, which is, the name Mamba, a couple other logos about Gigi, Play Like Gigi, as well as an actual signature. There's one that literally says Kobe Bryant 24, and it's his signature. So now the state actually owns those. So now they have the ability to decide what the heck they want to do with it.
So then can Nike still use, one thing that like obviously we learned about, Kobe Bryant over the years, him being retired, was how big he was with, girl basketball and stuff like that and promoting the sport, on a mainstream level. And, Nike had started doing a lot of the like advertisements and like additional ads. Can they still use Kobe in like commercials and stuff like that?
I mean, I guess it depends on the specifics of each and every contract. And Kobe is so different than all the other players. Usually they can. Usually what happens is you'll pay for a specific commercial or a specific deliverable, whatever it may be, and they'll put language in there, Nike will, that says we could use this in perpetuity now or in the future for whatever we see fit, even if there's like new social media comes out. And that way Nike could use it again in the future without even paying royalties. Like all these re-releases of shoes that you see,
right.
Tinker, Steven Smith, all these people who created all these dope designs back in the day for, Reebok, Instapump, and all these other companies like that, they're not getting paid royalties because that language wasn't in the contract. So, I mean, in regards to this one, I think Kobe's a different class. He's so specific and he's so up there that there's probably a clause in there that says that Nike can't re-release anything and that Kobe owns all this stuff and, Nike can't do anything without their permission. And because they're under a contract with them, they allowed him to do it.
See, I think, obviously what goes through sneakerheads first is that, one thing that made me think of first was, because this isn't the first time this has happened before when it comes to like sneakers and athletes. Now, none of the athletes, maybe the biggest one was probably Deion Sanders, was probably the biggest out of the ones that I could think of off top. But it happened with Chris Webber when he had the Sensations. He had the CW logo, but then they re-released them and they just put the Nike Air on the back. And then all the Deons had the Diamond Turf taken off of it. Even one of them that had a picture of him with the bandana on his head inside the air bubble, they removed that, put Nike Air. I remember Converse re-released the Larry Johnsons, the Aero Jams, and they took the number 2 off the tongue. They didn't do anything Grandmama related. It was just Converse Aero Jam. Yeah. And then even like I think there was a few other ones I can't think of right now, but it's happened. Oh, even like with Reebok, I think when they originally retroed the Sean Kemp's, a lot of people didn't know, like on one of the bottom lace loop, it said Kemp and like a weird graffiti. When they re-retroed them, it didn't say Kemp on it. And I was like, oh, that's weird. But then later on down the road with more retros, the Kemp came back. So I figured they built that relationship again or whatever. Then when we had shout out to Rack. Rack is a person who is big in the sneaker culture and like does stuff for companies or whatever. And I remember when Kobe's wouldn't retro yet, he came on the podcast and he told us that it was Kobe that wouldn't give them the okay to retro Kobe's yet or whatever. What you're saying right now is kind of making a lot of sense, because if Kobe could have that power to tell them you can't do something now, I'm pretty confident, like you're saying, that he must have had the language or something correct to where they can't even do it now afterwards.
Exactly. I mean, otherwise Nike, wouldn't be such a big deal in my opinion. And the fact that Kobe owns all this IP, all these trademarks that we're talking about, that's a good sign in his favor for his estate, that what you said is true, that, he has the ability to do whatever. And there's something in that contract that says you can't do it without our permission.
So then, is that a possibility of, well, I know Kanye spoke out about it, but, obviously, everyone always talks about Yeezy 1s and Yeezy 2s. Obviously, this isn't the same thing, but, like, we always look at Nike as, like, they have a bigger scheme up their sleeve. You know what I mean? And it's never been, like, really fully determined that Nike can't release Yeezys again if they wanted to, because Yeezy seems like he's okay with it. He doesn't care. But Nike has never really said anything else about it. Could it be something similar to the same case where, like, they can't because Kanye might own something of it he doesn't aware of, or what?
Yeah, exactly. You hit the nail on the head. I mean, that could happen. But what Kanye does is sort of similar to Kobe. Instead of allowing Adidas to own the trademark or to own a lot of his IP, Kanye's own company owns, I'd say, majority of the IP that he does. What is it? For example, Red October, Kanye's company, I'm sure I'm going to butcher it, Mascot Holdings. It's a New York company, but whatever the name of his company is, he files for most of these trademarks. He filed for the trademark for Red October and Red Octobers 2 or 3 years ago without even using it. This was as soon as he broke with Nike. He didn't want anyone else to take it. So his company filed ownership. And in order to actually get a trademark officially registered, you have to show that you're using it. And he still hasn't used it at all. So it was just a tactic that he did where he applied for it so that no one else could hopefully swoop in and take it. And over the past 2-3 years, he's gotten extensions until he finally uses it for his own company. And then once he uses it for his own company, then he shows proof of that he uses it. And then he officially gets the trademark for Red Octobers under his own company name. So that's been going on for the past 2-3 years. And if you saw, there was the whole red foam runner that was rumored to release. So that's sort of lining that up.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I saw that today, and they were saying that it comes out in October, which obviously that would make more sense. But I seen 2 different names for it. I seen people calling it Red Octobers, and then I saw another name. So I was like, oh, well, maybe he can't call it Red Octobers or whatever, but I don't know yet. So we'll see. But it coming out in October would be obviously fitting.
Exactly. And I think that one was under his company's name. So maybe Nike is calling it a different name because Nike doesn't own it. Well, not Nike. Maybe whoever is calling, saying that this out there, they're not using that name because they're afraid of ownership purposes yet. But who knows? The purpose there was that, Kanye is owning it in his name outright so that he could decide who uses it, whether it's his company or Nike uses it in a collab with his company.
So let me just ask you this, like, from your professional experience, like, you dealt with contracts and things like this, I mean, it's your career. You know what I mean? You are the sneaker lawyer here. What are the, I saw Vanessa's statement, and no one. I don't want to say Vanessa's obviously has more, had more issues with what Nike wasn't willing to do from what we can see. Do you see something like this being rectified or them coming back to the table, building a relationship again, or would you say something like this typically doesn't happen?
I mean, I would never say no, especially with Nike. If anyone's going to do it, it'll be Nike. And that being said, no deal's off the table. So and this is just hypothetical, even if Vanessa goes and creates her own brand new company called Mamba, and creates her own shoes and does this, who's to say that in a year she doesn't make a collab with Nike, So I would say it's definitely not off the table. But just from what we've seen in the press, it sounds like she's unhappy. They didn't throw enough money out of her. So the only way that they'd come back to the table is maybe they offered her, more money and more say in the decision making. That's what I think. I think this is really what it's all about, as what it is most of the time with decision making. She wants the ability to say, hey, get more kid sizes, give a special line for Gigi or do this or do that. So, I mean, again, this is just speculation from what I'm reading, because who knows what the heck she's thinking. But I would never say never, especially with Nike.
So then the last question I do have is, one of the unique things with Kobe's situation is that he was with two sneaker companies. He was with Adidas originally. Is this possibly, clearly with like a lot of the trademarks and stuff that we've seen online and what you just mentioned too, with what they've applied for trademark wise with Gigi, Mamba, Kobe's name, it seems like to be in line to start their own stuff. But could you see, or would you be surprised if an Adidas came to the table and tried to revamp that Kobe line and maybe like continue it or whatever and offer her what she wants? Could you possibly see that happen?
Yeah, I definitely could. You're exactly right. And the fact that she owns all these trademarks means that Adidas just has to come to her and say, hey, let's, retro this Kobe 2 or whatever it is and just throw a new logo on it. So I could definitely see that. If she doesn't want to go their own route and creating her own company, which, as you know, that's a lot. There's a lot going on there, and I'm sure Vanessa and her family have a lot going on already.
Right.
So,
yeah, because I was just like, obviously with Adidas making a lot of moves with, Jerry Lorenzo, taking over the basketball division. And, Kobe had about 4 or 5 Adidas, Kobe's or whatever. Clearly those ones, obviously they still make those. Like they still come out with those today, the 2000s and the Crazy 8s. They're not called Crazy 8s anymore, but, they still make variations of them. They don't have the number 8 on the toe box or whatever like they did. In my mind, I was like, well, maybe Adidas will come to the table and just like recreate more lines, as if he retired, I expected Nike to do that, like they still make a Jordan model, like I guess under the assumption that if Jordan played, he'd play in this. So I figured that's what was going to happen with Kobe.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. I think the reason Vanessa, I'm summing it up, but the reason Vanessa left is she wants Kobe's name and the whole sneaker and everything about Kobe to be more accessible to people.
Right.
So I wouldn't be surprised if she said, okay, who's ready for a collab? Let's do something with Adidas. Let's do something with Nike. I mean, not as crazy as that, because I don't think she needs to do that. She wants to make sure it's, representing Kobe and the family properly. Right. But I wouldn't be surprised if she made it more accessible, based on what other people like, all different brands.
Yeah, I can understand that. I don't have any more legal.
I'm hoping for it at least.
I don't have any more legal questions, but I just want to ask you before we let you go real quick. As a sneakerhead, does it play a factor to you with? I know we don't know yet. We don't know anything of it, but like if Nike was to make the same sneakers, make the Kobe's, just remove the logo, add a swoosh, whatever the case, anything that indication of Kobe, would you buy them?
Would I buy it?
I'm asking sneakerhead. I'm asking sneakerhead. I'm not asking the lawyer. I am asking if they re-release Grinches again, and there is no Kobe system logo, there's no Kobe signature, there's no whatever else on there to indicate this is Kobe. It's still green, still got the swoosh, still got the red laces, still the same shoe. Would you buy it?
That's a good question. I'll give you a lawyer answer, but it's to the point. I guess it depends. It depends the specific shoe. If it was something, like the Grinch's, that's a must-have for me. So I went out and purchased it. So if there's no other way for me to get it without spending thousands of dollars, then maybe I'd consider it in that situation. But if it was any other shoe, Kobe shoe that that wasn't a grail to me or something that I really, really liked, I'd say no. The fact that they took the Kobe away, removes the allure from me. So
okay, I like that answer. That's
I would
fine.
not. What about you guys?
Yeah, ever since we've ever started this podcast, I've always had like the same view when it came to sneakers being remade that didn't have the original stuff on it. I don't own a Grinch. George has a Grinch, and I would love to own a Grinch. Obviously, Kobe Nike prices are going through the roof now. Particularly more Grinches are the ones that are going through the roof. And like you said, Grail, the Grinch is, we consider the Grinch probably a top 5 Nike basketball sneaker of all time. It's just something about it. The theme is just so original, especially considering that like all the Christmas themes, you think of Christmas, you never think of all the aspects that come around with Christmas. And the Grinch was just so genius. And considering Kobe's personality, like he wanted to take your soul on the court. He didn't care if it was Christmas or not. He was going to ruin your Christmas. That was the Grinch. Exactly. Me personally, I feel like I wouldn't. And I feel like I wouldn't, one, because it's now, to me, it's now a replica. It's not a Kobe now. It's just like it. It's close. You know what I mean? It's like buying a Jordan 3 that doesn't have Nike Air on the back. It has a Jumpman on the back. It's close, but it's not a black cement 3 to me. Now the logos on a Kobe sneaker never mattered that much to me anyways. Like I can't even remember where they're located on most of the sneakers. I think it's like on the back or the tongue. It's on there.
It's on the tongue.
It's on there. You know what I mean? So for me personally, I feel like I wouldn't want to. I feel as a sneakerhead, everything, if true, we don't know, but I'm going to say it is, everything that Vanessa is fighting for is what sneakerheads are complaining about 24/7. If I have the wife of the great Kobe Bryant, trying her best or wanting Nike to give everybody Grinches, and Nike's like, yeah, you know what? Nah, I gotta respect that. I can't buy anything like that because she is doing what we want. And we talked about it when Kobe. There is no reason why we shouldn't all have Kobe's. I don't care. I don't care. It's a different situation. Maybe not every single Kobe on earth, but we should all have the opportunity to own a sneaker of, some might say, the greatest basketball player of all time, and some might say, top 5 one of. Come on. We're talking about Kobe Bryant here. So if the missus, if she says, you know what, can you guys please give everybody Grinches, and Nike says no, then I don't want whatever version of Grinches or whatever you're going to give me. That's just me.
Amen.
George, you?
I think I like what you described there. I'm not kind of zoned out there for a second. Did you even ask the question about can Nike continue to retro?
Yeah, ask them.
Okay, and so we're just under the understanding that no one officially knows what Nike's contract is.
Right.
Okay.
Kobe could be special to where like his stuff says you can't ever, because remember when I said we had Rack on, and Rack said that Kobe wouldn't let Nike release them yet. It was the Kobe that was stopping it. So we were like, that was kind of crazy that he has that power to say, nope, you're not retroing my stuff yet. You know what I mean? So his stuff could be special. We don't know yet. And like Zach said, we don't know yet. Nike could still own the right to those sneakers and drop them. If not, Kobe might own the right to all those sneakers, whatever. So, but would you?
There'll definitely be nothing new.
Right.
But I would say there's probably nothing. To be honest, whatever Nike had in line that, that will continue for, I think they said the contract ended the 13th, but whatever falls under that contract, is more than likely going to be the last Nike Kobe's, unless they agree to something new, whether it's a collab or another long-term deal.
I will say this, though.
That's what it sounds like.
I will say that, Kobe's did take forever to retro. They took for a long time to come out in retro. They had, special, fade to black packs and prelude packs and stuff like that. But they took an incredibly long time to retro. Me thinking back right now, there's still a couple personal pairs that me and George consider one of the greats, like Miles Davis 5s, the blue 5s. that means we're not going to get these. You know what I mean? And there's not a lot of those out there. I look for those, pretty regularly. There's not any out there, whatsoever. So, if Nike, if Kobe's end of the deal was ironclad and he owns everything and we won't see it again, that's crazy, because that means an entire line, signature line legacy, it will eventually die. Like, it will die out.
I think, my thing would just be like, I don't know that it's a good idea for any one person to be making the decision. Like Kobe's wife, for example. I think as long as she's getting input from other family members, other close friends, that kind of thing, and then she comes to the final decision, I think I'm cool with that. I just think it's almost never a good idea when one person acting emotionally makes the ultimate decision. So hopefully hopefully something happens where there's a compromise of some sort.
Exactly. Well, their logos and everything are owned by the companies, Kobe Bryant LLC, and what is the other one? The family. So I'm sure she's getting some sort of guidance by all the great advisors that they pay for.
All right.
Hopefully.
Well, we'll see. I'll tell you this. To
answer the question, I think if it was something that I didn't get when it first came out in the retro, I think I would buy it. I mean, I'm not going to be trying to buy every single one, the pizza one, whatever we would call it pizza, but it's not really pizza. But I'm not copping all that nonsense. So my thing is that, and maybe the like die hard. I'm a Kobe fan. I love Kobe, but I'm not a die hard, you know what I mean? My thing is that I wonder if Kobe, or they decide, not Kobe, sorry, I wonder if like the family, whomever decides to make their own line, their own sneaker, how popular it would be. I feel like it would make some waves because it is Kobe Bryant. But like you said, Zach, it ain't easy just starting something new from scratch, especially a sneaker, and especially with Nike. Yeah. Kobe sneakers are iconic. Whether you like Kobe sneakers or not, they're iconic symbols in the culture. There's not many athletes who's had a sustainable sneaker line as long as Kobe with two brands. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And was good. Great.
Exactly.
So, we'll see.
His shoes are shooting up since that, because I totally agree with what you said. They're only going to keep going up.
I went on there and looked at like a few other ones, and like they were like pretty much staying around the same, like not too high. But obviously I was like, I don't own Grinches, and I said I would buy them one day maybe, but I saw some the other like at 900 in my side. Okay, no. And they were like 720 a while ago. So I was like, okay, they're going to keep going up and up and up. And there's going to be a lot more people keeping DS pairs for a lot longer, because I mean, just like we're seeing with a lot of these dunks right now. I was looking at skunks today. Since it's 420, I was looking at skunks, and I was talking to the homies about skunks. Joints are 2,000, like in their DS pairs, and it's like, who still has these DS pairs of skunks? But I would imagine Grinches down the road and whatever else, they'll be up there as well. But there is one more Kobe coming out under Nike, and that's the 6, the white one and the yellow one. It's Pop, whatever it's called, Hall of Fame. Whatever it is. There's one more coming out. So I did read somewhere that there is one more coming out.
Del Sol?
Maybe it's Del Sol. I don't know. So, I don't know.
How crazy is it going to be to get that?
I know. That's going to be impossible, which sucks. Like, and that one is going to be...
Well, Nike's going to... That's another thing we probably should have added to the topic list, is Nike is now doing everything draw. I mean, they did freaking the Hirachis on draw.
True. Everything draw. Which is, funny, because everybody lost their mind. The Hirachi sold it. Them joints are sitting at the malls right now. I seen them at the... Like,
yeah, but everything's like that. A lot of stuff that sells out on sneakers is sitting everywhere. The other thing that a lot of people may not know is technically Nike's normal release system is like a mini draw anyways. It's not actually first come, first serve, unless it's a shock drop or something.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah, we didn't know that. So, all right, Zach, I appreciate you coming on and talking to us, man.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me, guys. Always a blast.
Thank you, sir.
Talk to you later.
Out the episode. Yeah, me too. Have a good one.
Appreciate it. I'll probably say this again at the end of the show, but since you put out in the... I don't need this anymore. But since you put out in to the sneak diss realm, the assistance required on the white Jordan 1 lows, I might as well just put this out. Bowman comes out next week, Bowman Baseball. So if y'all want to get me some Bowman Baseball, by all means, I'll pay for it. If you're car people, I'm going to just put that out.
What's a Bowman Baseball?
Bowman Baseball is the next baseball product that's coming out. It comes out next week. So if you guys get value packs, blasters, megas, whatever you get. Let me know. If you don't want it and you're not going to flip it, I'll buy it from you. I'll pay on top as long as it's not gouge price.
Is Bowman a brand?
Tops makes it.
Oh.
You never heard of Bowman before? You don't remember Bowman from when you were a kid?
I probably do. Fam, I am removed from cards, okay? I'm still thinking like, yo, they got Ultras? They still make Ultras? Tops Ultras? Fleer?
Ultra?
They still got those?
No, Fleer does not exist anymore.
I got nothing
but
to
anyways, I got, I think at least one person in the podcast listener realm who's going to help me gather some. But if anyone wants to help with Bowman, that's what I'm looking for next.
I'll tell you one thing. You definitely got...
I don't ask for the high dollar stuff. You won't see me on here asking for Prism basketball and Select football. I'll get that on my own. But if anyone can help me at retail with baseball stuff, I would appreciate it.
I'll tell you one thing. You definitely got people dabbling in the cards and stuff.
Oh yeah, somebody was inboxing me the stuff they had bought. He lives in Wyoming or Montana or something. I just figured he had no competition for cards.
That's what you should be doing. You should be looking for flights to South Dakota. And just driving to all the Targets and Walmarts.
I mean, that's not going to sustain me for an entire summer of baseball. I need stuff every week.
Fam, we go to Montana and stuff. We go, what, once a month?
I'm going to go. Oh, really? Is Kanye flying us out there on his private plane?
If you pay for my flight, I'll go with you. We got miles. I got miles, too.
I pay for your
I got
flight.
miles.
Fam, I mean... what's the point of flying to buy retail? Money you're gonna spend on the flight, you just stay here and pay over retail for it. Anyways, I'm not being greedy. You know how I am. I don't ask for favors except for one specific shoe plug every once in a while. If you're out there, and I'm not telling you go to the stores. If you are a card person and you don't like baseball, I will take all the Bowman you can get. If you want to charge me over retail, that's perfectly fine. Like I said, as long as it's not gouge pricing like eBay style. I am more than willing to put something on top for people who help me out.
I need natural gray Jordan lows. I need triples.
You do, but I got dunk lows now, so
you need these two.
Oh no,
and one of them I'm gonna antique. You see that the customizers doing the antique. Oh no, if I get three, one's getting antiqued. B. One, I'm gonna wear super duper short shorts with that one. I'm talking skin tight. I'm talking
No, I already told you.
Prospect shorts.
I kept the high. Right, yes, high school.
Them high school kids shorts be out of control
but
now.
They roll them up inside. I don't understand.
And just wearing boxer briefs.
Do they tuck it? Do you tuck it into your?
No, you roll the top of it inside.
No, you can do that too. But they roll the pant leg up. You haven't seen that yet? Do they tuck it into what's them bicycle shorts? What's them things we used to wear?
Spandex?
Compression shorts.
Oh, compression
under your shorts. Maybe they tuck it into that.
Fam, I saw a high school.
At the bottom of the knee is what I'm talking about. The bottom of the leg.
I saw a high school.
Yeah, ASU man used to do that, and then he
highlight reel
this year at all. He sucks.
Fam, I think he was wearing bloomers. That's how little they were. I was like, them is them.
You talking about that man who went to ASU?
Who? Remy Martin?
No, Remy Martin is a freshman from this year. It is. It is.
He just sold something real quick. George, you went.
I went later on after you. I didn't know you were leaving that fast.
Nah, I wasn't going to go because...
I had to go to Ahwatukee anyways to run an errand, and then Hannah was picking someone from the airport and taking them home to Ahwatukee, so I was like, I'll just go with you, and then maybe we can go by the mall afterwards.
It was only a couple tables with cars, right? It was only I only saw 3 tables with cars.
Yeah, I saw probably 3 or 4, but I mean all that stuff was stuff I'd seen before. It's all retail, and it's just like sneakers at a sneaker show. People are asking top dollar, and no one is there to spend money. So
you know what it is. So let me talk about that event first. He just sold something. First of all, let me say something. He just sold. It's a great event. It is what it is. It's a great.
It accomplishes the goal.
It accomplishes the goal. It's one free. It's on a pretty big space.
If people want to sell, they'll sell. But the problem is everyone asks above StockX and above eBay. Fam, what you have to realize when you sell on StockX, you losing fees and whatever else. So when you sell something, say you sell it for 100, you might get 90 or you might get 85 or whatever back. So that doesn't mean when you go to a show you ask 100. You just ask 85. You ask what you would get from StockX, and guess what? Your stuff will fly.
So that's one of the issues I have with it. And let me say, like I said, I want to
same cards, whatever else.
I want to reiterate this too for the guest list cats and Charles and all them the homies, right? The event was great. It's a great event. It does what it's supposed to do. I came back and I texted the thread. I'm texting you. I was just really disheartened with what you said. First of all, it might have been a combined maybe say maybe 70, 80 tables in there, maybe. Like, they were really close to each other. And you know what? And that's including, like, one place buying 4 tables, you know, because they sell per table. Like, it's like 2 chairs per table is $100. If you bring your entire store, you got to buy about 4 or 5 tables.
Fam,
so,
someone had their granddaddy in there helping them out.
Fam, let me.
I'm dead serious.
There's a few things I want to go over in there. There might have been a combined total of all the people who had black white dunks. There might have been about 100 pairs in that joint. I'm not even joking. Some tables had double digits of just black white dunks.
I didn't touch any shoes, but I did look at one shoe, but I didn't get close enough to the table to see if they had my size UNLV dunk lows. I did glance at them.
I saw 3 in that entire thing of dunk lows, like of U of L dunk lows. I didn't see any. Black and white.
One table had them, from what I remember.
Was it like sitting on top of this thing?
Nah.
Okay. Black and white dunk lows were all over the place. Like,
the prices on those are going up, by the way. If you want those, you better cop.
Well, here's the thing. When it comes to like us and a lot of people that we know,
$230, $240.
Exactly.
Them to like $320 now.
See, no. See, here's the thing. Before
on StockX, I mean,
like 3 or 4 days before that event, I saw them for like $240, 9.5, $240, $250-ish, maybe a $260-ish.
Not in size 12.
I saw that. In my size, I did. So then that's my mindset of it. Now, I went and raved about the black and white joints. In my mind, first of all, let me tell you this first. I went to this, 1, because it's free. 2, we have a sneaker podcast. I didn't want to come in here and talk about it and didn't have no first-hand account. Yeah. I stayed for about an hour. Remember we would go to stuff like that and and maybe more. Actually, it was like you, me, and Simple, all of us. We would try to go finesse something that we didn't think, like a New Balance, a Asics, something like that. There were 3 New Balances in the entire building, and I was wearing one of them. Another person was wearing another, and then there was one 993, which I don't even know. It looked like a 992, but it was a 993. It was filthy on a table. There were 3 Asics in the building. The white and gold Kith, the one that's underrated, the cheapest one, and then 2 Sean Witherspoon, whatever.
Patches.
I'm kind of sucking hand too in person. I was like,
well, Rico is right about the shape. It's just weird.
The shape, yeah.
It's just weird that he
it's weird.
Knows that.
Yeah, that's what it is.
It's just like
the fact that
the shape is weird.
The fact that Rico could look at a picture of it and be like, ugh, I'm like, I saw it in hand. The shape is whack compared to the AC Kindle, and I was like, oh yeah, this is way different. And I thought maybe the materials made it weird. You know, it's corduroy, whatever. But Arizona, I thought I was blaming the sneaker culture, but it's Arizona. There's only 3 things in that building: Yeezys, Dunks, Jordan 1s, and vintage clothes. That's it. You're not gonna go there and find none of my go back years. None of that. There was one table though.
Not Fire Red 5s. What's the one that just came out? Red 5s.
Yeah, Raging Bulls.
There was Raging Bulls, but yeah.
But so then, yeah, there was Jordans. There were just Jordans in general. But and another thing that what made it suck was, so there was an actual skate man there. Like, I mean, I'm pretty positive this cat worked at Cowtown or somewhere. I mean, this man looked like a real skater dude. Like, he was stank, dirty, had big old Janko jeans, a skateboard.
Didn't see him.
Fam, he had I'm talking all his dunks were like classics. But them joints, I'm pretty sure he skated in every single one. They all look like beat up ham sandwiches.
Celebrity, huh?
So I was like, ooh. So I went up, right? He had Thai Temples. Oh, no, it's not Thai, Costin Blues, not Thai Temples. He had Costin Blues. And I had those a long time ago, but I stupid traded them and sold them and Thai Temples. I was like, oh, you know what? They beat. But you know what? I could clean them up, whatever. I'm doing more than $500 for them. All the dunks were out of control prices. They weren't even like within the window of possibility.
I think I just sold mine that were hanging on the shelf, dusty, and I cleaned them up really, really good. I think I sold them for like $230, $240.
Now, I'm not mad at the fact that people are willing to pay it, but I am mad at the fact that demand is just way too high for stuff. It's way too high. All the white dunks.
If you go there with a bunch of used shoes, I don't care if it's SBs or not. If you go there with a bunch of used shoes and you're asking prices like that, you're not going to sell anything. Johnny had asked me like last week or whatever about some dude had Red Lobsters and Blue Lobsters, like size 9, 9.5, 10, somewhere in there, both worn.
Like worn or just worn?
I mean, I didn't look at them, but you could tell they were worn, like little discoloration, whatever. And I guess he said the dude wanted 800 or something, and I looked on StockX. No, 800 total. And I looked on StockX. worn pairs, $900 for both red and blue. Red's a little bit higher, which surprised me. I thought blue would be higher. And he was like, should I buy these for like $800? I was like, fam, you can make 16 off those easy if you buy them. He's like, well, I only want to pay $6. I was like, well, I mean,
Wait, they have box and everything?
Nah, no box. So I guess he negotiated with the dude to buy him for like $6 or $650. And so he took him to the show, I don't know if he had actually attempted to sell him or not.
Oh,
but
I was going to say, he had a table or something?
No, he just was carrying him around to see if somebody would buy him. You want to talk about like affordable price, because people are asking on GOAT $900, like someone just walking around, they just want $6. That's where people don't see the value. They don't see the value in that kind of stuff. Like the tables is not where you should be going. You should be trying to find people that's carrying stuff, because guess what? They don't want to carry it around all day.
Yeah, but see, the people that's carrying stuff, Johnny is like an OG. He knows better. A lot of the young kids walking around holding stuff, them cats were wearing stuff, selling stuff out of the bags, carrying. I'm pretty sure they wore on a regular, every single day basis, wanting a grip. Somebody had DB9s carrying around on a thing like this. And he was like, oh, yo, fam, what size are you? I was like, 9.5. And that was another thing I thought was weird. People were really salesmen there. Like, yo, fam, I got something for you, man. I was like, got something for me. What are you trying to do? I bought this hat from this, like, it was a black-owned company. I was trying to be nice. But she was like this, hey, come here. Let me show you something that sneakerhead's wearing. I was like, okay, what is it? $40? Give me the hat. Just give it to me. Do you take sale? Here you go. All right, I didn't even look. I didn't even know the hat's at. All right. But like this cat was selling DB9. He was selling DB9s to me as if they were like hot. One, like they were hot. Two, like they were almost pristine condition. He wanted $850 for them, and I was like, I don't even know if DB9s go for $850. I was like, oh no, mine got you. He was like, oh fam, these crazy. You don't see these often. I was like, you right. I don't see these anymore. But I was like, I was there when they came out at the outlet again. When they all the quote unquote B grades or whatever, when they registered at the outlet or whatever. I was like, no, whatever. But that was one thing too.
So you said this is somebody who was walking around carrying them?
Yeah, young cats though, like young cats. Like now no telling where he got them from. Like he may not have even bought them DS when he had them, because the kid was probably 17. Like they were carrying like Mountain View duffel bags. You know what I mean? Like Mountain View High School duffel bags and stuff. Anyways, and then another thing that like makes these sneaker events so weird and hard now is that like when we used to go, it was people selling their stuff, their collection. So like you knew what tables were the 9.5s, the 9s and 10s, the 12s, this. Every table has anywhere from toddler to 15.
Yes, they're all business now.
It made it so boring and uninviting. I mean, every table I go to, it's a store, like a real legit business. Like
they are.
Cactus resale, so-and-so resale, Jump Over resale, the best resale, King Topper. I was like, first of all, where are these stores even located at? That's one. Two, they had, like I said, they had a table of like all mids, and then all the lows that we don't like, fat lows, then all the highs, then all the stuff. I'm like, yo, this is crazy.
The person who should have been there is Andrew. Andy should have been there with all his jerseys that he just caught.
Fam, I think people
would have sold all of them.
I think people were selling probably a good amount of vintage, but even the people walking around there, like I feel like when we used to like kind of go to things like that, I feel like individuality is lost. And I think it's an Arizona thing. Arizona leans way too heavy in something that like may be the now. I've seen kids that were probably 16 years old wearing Mike Tyson t-shirts. And like the t-shirt probably came out when you and I were kids. I'm like, fam, you never saw Tyson fight in your life except maybe on Triller the other night. Like, yeah, like I just thought it was so weird. And a Tyson shirt there was like a $250. I saw a White Sox jersey.
Yeah, that's vintage now.
White Sox jersey that came out during that era. Remember like all those t-shirts that had like Tasmanian Devil and like Bugs Bunny wearing like the backwards hats and
yeah, they had teams on them.
White Sox jersey was trashed. I'm talking, it smelled like the hands of I couldn't even describe it. It was $235. And the cat came over like, yo, everything on this rack, 10% off. I'm like, what? Then Cat was like, yo, come here. I got something for you, fam. Everything on the floor right here, $5. I was like, why are they on the floor? Like, he had our clothes laying on the floor. I don't want this stuff on the floor. The clothes is already old and dirty. Another thing,
too. Yeah, but I think that's because they don't wash it, so it doesn't matter if it's on the floor because you got to wash it when you get home.
That's
like, I don't think Andy washes stuff when he gets it from Goodwill. I think he just preps it for pictures or whatever.
Maybe I thought people washed it, but like either way, I don't. Even if it wasn't washed, I just don't want to see my stuff on the floor of everybody like walking. It's on the floor. It ain't like a tarp. It's on the floor.
Sure. Well, yeah, it's not a good. If you're a business, it's not a good look to display it that way. Like, yeah, I mean, round 2 is not putting stuff on the floor. They have hangers, racks.
I mean, there were people that bought entire corners of the building. Like, I don't know if you walked around, but like, it was a store. Like, you walk in.
I walked around like once, and then I went and talked to Johnny. So like, I had to walk like halfway to talk to him. But like I said, I didn't even. When Hannah and I were walking through there, literally the only thing I looked at was like what sports cards people had on their table, and which was only a couple tables. And then the other part was just like seeing if I recognized anyone. I didn't see Rob there. Was he doing customs or?
Oh yeah, he was there.
No, I know, but was he doing customs? Did he have his own booth?
He had like his own table. He had like some stuff he painted and stuff like that. He said he had sold some stuff.
Only one I saw was Mini Worlds, Johnny Bubbles.
Oh, you talked to him?
I mean, just said what's up. He was like talking to a customer or whatever.
I didn't even see him there.
I saw the Johnny, Abe, and
I didn't see him.
And Batman West.
Oh yeah, I saw him. He must got beef with me because he like was right here and wasn't gonna say anything at all. And then like I was like, "Hey, what's up, man?" And he like hit me with the didn't say nothing. And I was like,
I mean, it could be COVID. You never know. Some people weird.
No, because he was chit-chatting to everybody else. Everybody else around me, he was like, yo. I was like, yo, what up, man? He was like, no. Okay, I don't like you anyway. I'm like, contrary to what you believe, I was being nice because you was close. But yeah, I talked to Charles, and like, even he was like, man, they say, geez, I'm too old for this, man. He said, this is
the life you chose.
I said, you definitely can't say. I'm like, this is your world. I said, where you going next? He said, well, after we leave here, we headed to Denver to a vintage. So I'm like, bro, you literally travel the country for this, man. That's your life. And he about to open up another store in New Mexico. So it had two Ben Hathos. Was he the one I'm talking about whose stuff was priced too high or what? Because I asked he
Bubble,
didn't have a lot of stuff.
Bubble said they did well. Because I said, how'd you guys do?
We did well. Everybody I went to that I knew, they said they did well. Like, they were like, man, I'm just selling anything. And I'm like, oh, okay. I never saw a single transaction happen anywhere. Yeah. But by the time I got there, I was like, maybe cats came through and bought it all up. Like, so, I don't know. I'm not going to say that nobody made any money. I just know for us, like, I can't. Remember that time we went to Dillard's and we bought all them polo t-shirts for like $9?
Yeah, I think they were cheaper than that. They were like $4.
Yeah, they were like $4. I can't buy another polo if it's more than $10 t-shirt. Like, I can't. So like, I can't go in there and buy a black and white dunk for $325 when I already saw it for $245. Now that just means if, like you said, the prices are going up, I just ain't gonna never own it then. Like, if it went from what I was like. Okay.
Well, again, you can't, if you're in there, you can't, so, because I don't know what 9.5 is. Let's say 12, for example. 12 is $325 on GOAT. You can't ask $325 at that show. That's not how it works.
They were high.
That's not, but, I mean, that's just bad salesmanship or bad, whatever you want to call it. You just, if you have a storefront and you have stuff in a store, people are coming into your store, obviously they're coming in to spend money. Right. But at a sneaker event like that, some people are just there to be seen, talk to people and do whatever else. 100%. Not everybody there's a customer. So you have to give people an incentive to buy something like that. Whereas when you have a storefront and you say you're not running a promos or something, people are coming in because they want to come in. You're not giving them an incentive to come in, as opposed to that show. Nobody is there to spend any money, and you got stuff way too high.
Well, it's hard to say because all of them are like, "Yo, it made a killing."
See, I think part of the, and I know it happens with. I would imagine Charles does it. I don't know about guest lists because I don't know enough about them. But what's the one? Band LA, the big one in LA. Those cats, I know, pay over retail for like full size runs and stuff. You know what I mean? So like. I understand that a lot of places can't sell it for maybe what you would take as a person who bought it for retail. But at the same time, that doesn't mean they got to charge the same price that's on GOAT or StockX. That's not how it works. Buying in person should benefit both parties. I get to pay a little bit less. Maybe you get a little bit more. So instead of like, say eBay, for example, 10%, say you're buying a $1,000 shoe. Instead of selling it for $1,000, maybe we do $950. I save $50 in taxes and you make $50 more. It should benefit both parties when you're doing an in-person sale. Like, that's the whole point of like offer up and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
People were in there. I did see actually a couple people like at tables going like, well, on StockX, they're, you know, whatever. Yeah. I did see that.
They do that stuff in like round 2. You watch some of the round 2 videos and stuff they do. Like, we don't, I mean, people shouldn't base their businesses on stuff like that. Man.
So, like, I mean, like I said.
Unless they wanted to go out of business.
According to everybody I talked to there, they're making a killing. And I'm sure people did. I mean, sometimes we've gone to those events and I felt like I had to buy something just because I was there.
I seen one table, it was a kid and his dad, and they had like 6 shoes on the table. Oh. And everything looked like it was worn.
That's another thing,
why did you pay for this table?
That's another thing, too, which I saw a lot of in there. There was a lot of that where it was like, these are yours. Like, all 8 of these are yours. Like, you're trying to get, and I was thinking to myself, like, fam, these are beat. Another thing that is getting played out, and I said this years ago, other sneaker events, if you're going to sell used shoes, you can wipe them joints down a little bit. Like, I'm talking.
Well, if you would get more money.
You will get more money. Like, you'll make an extra $10, $20 maybe.
Financial sense to do it.
I was like, dude, you're selling shoes that had the red track dirt on it. I was like, I don't want this. Like, these are nasty. Right. That too, and like you said, people had tables with like,
when I sell those SBs on GOAT, I clean them first. I'm not going to list something on GOAT that looks destroyed. You can't list it for as much.
That was another thing too, which I had learned, because one thing I always had, I would never buy used on GOAT again, is because every time I bought used on there, I got not scammed, but like duped. Like, the pictures on there, I don't know when they took those, but by the time I got them, they clearly didn't stop wearing these joints, because when I got some Kobe 1s off of there,
then you can't return it.
I was like, fam, these pictures look, I'm talking flawless. I get them in my hand, them joints have been to the work site. I was like, these suck. Dirty. But shout out to Hita Sosa, man. Like I said, this is nothing an indictment on the event. Arizona doesn't have a lot of things. It's free. Like, I wanted to go 1, 2, it's free. 2, I just didn't want to talk about it. Come in here and talk about something like I didn't go to. I got a free Monster. Like, I got some free snacks in there. There were some tables in there that just, I felt bad for them. They like thought like, ooh, opportunity for my business, selling bracelets and beads. It was weird. I saw a table covered.
Yeah, there was some stuff that was like, had nothing to do with sneakers in there. I mean,
the food things,
shout out to them.
The food things, yeah, they were doing good.
I don't think they sold all the food slots though. Like, I looked online, I think there was still like 1 slot available, and that was like halfway through the show.
See, the snack things people were buying, there was a man there. A couple of this stuff looked like some like sketchy stuff. This man had a table and he had 4 bottles of juice, and it was in a black box, and he had a tent, and it was it. No decorate, no posters. He was like, "You want to try this juice?" I was like, "No." Like, you just got 4 like vials. I was like, "No, you ain't getting me." And then I saw like these women selling beard products, like beard oil and pomade beard stuff. I'm like, why are you ladies trying to sell? Because they were next to Rob's table, and when I walked in, like, "Hey, sir, you know, it's your beard. Can I see your beard?" And I'm like, "You're women. I know this might be your company, but you better bring the biggest beard men you can find to sell me this. I need to see they beard lush. You can't show me nothing. They're beautiful women, but it got nothing to do with me." So shout out to them or whatever. But what was crazy was I saw some tables, I'm talking covered in Supreme, not artifacts, accessories. The baseball mask.
Yeah.
No one cared. Like, not even a look. Not even, it was just there, just sitting at the table like this. I was like,
yeah, you got to sell that stuff on StockX.
Tides have turned. I remember that stuff was coveted, boy. You could sell a Supreme backpack. I was looking at Supreme backpacks back in the day when we'd be at that stuff. A few people wanted to make sure they remind you that Lightning 4s are officially coming out, because they were like, George said they're never coming out, and I was listening to the podcast, and you was like...
but I think I said they're probably never coming out. I think I said something like that.
Well, supposedly they're coming out. I still don't believe it. I feel like they'll like get canceled or something, but who knows? Like, I don't believe it.
Well, I think when Jumpman had 23.com, whatever his thing is, when he starts tweeting the official pics, I'm pretty sure he's like a Nike employee pretty much now, because he don't tweet Adidas or New Balance or nothing else, only Nike and Jordan stuff. And he's always the first one with the official pictures. I'm pretty sure he's a Nike employee. I mean, like, you know, in an unofficial capacity or whatever.
Are you copping?
Yeah.
To keep.
I don't know.
Oh, you what?
I told Johnny I would help him. Johnny really wants him, so I told Johnny I'll help him. We'll see. I don't know. Hopefully Manor has their Jordan account by then. Maybe do a little local raffle. Do
we've
Foot Locker raffle.
We've had a lot of.
Maybe the plug can help out. Plug.
What do we? Oh, I'm asking the plug. What do
Might
we
as well.
sell?
If he's getting Hannah stuff, he could get you some.
What do we sell Thunder 4s for? We sold them for
Not that much.
Oh, you
well,
sure?
no, I wore mine. I didn't have DS pair. I probably sold them for like 180 or 190.
I can't remember. I think
it was close to box price.
I think we sold them too early, and then down the road we was like, God dang, he's just high now. Look, I'm copping the key. Period. All right, it's a Nike Atomic Bomb. I gotta cop it. I wish I had Nike Air on the back. That's the least they can do.
Some of those.
That's the least they can
open
do.
Another one.
All right, the least they can do with Nike on the back. They last time they cashed out. The last time they came out was about what? 10 years ago? 15 years ago? Fam, these voodoo chips. Yo, shout out to Ryan, bro. Fam, let me see this letter, though.
You never had these before?
No,
Really?
I've had Zaps, but not that voodoo.
You can get these anywhere.
I've only had barbecue flavor Zaps, and that came in the package from the homie that sent us the chili, didn't it?
No.
Who sent us the? Yeah,
Chili was from Ohio.
yeah, but he sent Zaps with it.
I don't think so.
Man, we getting snacks all over this country, you know? I need somebody to send us some Alaskan cod. You wouldn't eat that.
I need somebody to send me some Bowman. Dude.
Shout
Bowman
out
baked
to the
pop.
homie Ryan, fam. This snacks pack has got me lit. I will be copping. And the secret sneaker is Clot Vapor Max.
Hey.
Because George wore them last week. Them joints were fire. Had me looking on the internet like, yo,
Still feel like I'm wearing cleats.
yeah, it's such a weird shoe. Like you wear it. I wore my Vapor Max the other week too. I wore it to Cortez's soccer. Oh, shout out to Cortez, man. Let me tell you something, man.
You might as well talk about that. Maybe scoring goals like Ronaldo.
Let me tell you
I
something.
don't even know if you can hear me right now, but
Cortez always scores a lot of goals all the time. So, like, I mean, he's had games where he scored like up to 6 one time. These 3 goals, we lost 6-3, but this is against the team that wins the championship every single year.
who y'all playing? The LA Galaxy?
This team is, they've been with each other forever. Like, he worked for those goals. I'm talking. In the first half, he had no goals.
I mean, is he getting beat up by other kids? Like
Oh,
elbows and stuff?
everything, like everything, and it was 6-0 at halftime. So, no, it was 4-0 at halftime. 4-0 at halftime. So then we had a talk because me and him have a talk in the car driving there. But we had a talk at halftime. I said, "What's up, man?" We had a talk, man. Leadership, like what to do. What you do? You getting mad? You getting frustrated over like whatever? Fam went out there and fought for them goals. And you know it's good. Like even though the team was losing, when you can like see everybody, it's a glass like indoor. Everyone's on the glass just watching our game.
Say it was indoor.
It's
That's
indoor.
Dope. I like
so
indoor.
like everyone's just like going crazy, like because he almost brought us back in the game. It was 5-3 at one point, and we had about like 9 minutes left. And if he would have kept going, he could have kept going. But like, I had to take him off a little bit because he works so hard. He about to throw up all the time. But I mean, fam, the 3 goals he scored, he's so good. I asked Rocio, I said, "Are we moving to Barcelona or what?" I did. I said, "Look, I do not want to be that parent, but when you can see something, there's something there." Now, I do have a small issue, though, because he watched Space Jam a few times the other night, and now he wants to play basketball. He's awful at basketball. So I'm trying to tell him, like, look, man, you want to watch Messi? You want to see some highlights? Like, that's what I need you to be. Shout out to my son, man. I love him so much. I mean, I was all weekend just raving at everybody. Like, I couldn't believe how hard those goals were. Like, he was fighting with them, spinning, kicking, spinning. He kicked one and it hit the goal. He bounced off him and kicked it again. I was like, oh my God. Love him so much. Zion signature, you copping?
I don't hate it. I'll be honest. I'm not buying it to keep for myself, but I don't hate it. It looks decent.
I don't hate the price.
Well, I didn't even look at the price, but
120.
I think it looks nice. I mean,
It looks like a Westbrook.
no, it's better.
I honestly
It looks like a
feel
basic basketball shoe, but it looks nice to me. Like I can see how that's a Jordan.
Yeah, I don't think it looks bad, but like I feel like how come when the new Jordan 35, 36, 37s, all these models come out, why do they look so technically forward, but like the Westbrooks and these new Zions, they don't look like nothing. Like they look like shoes. I'm assuming they got Nike Air and Zoom in them, but it's like when a new Jordan comes out, them joints got little gaps missing in the sole. They got windows. They got no lace tech. They got all the finest. And I'm like, you're going with a Zion, it looks like a child shoe. Like, it's just not cool. It's fine, and it's perfect for young basketball players. It's a perfect shoe. Now, call it a Jordan Zion 1. It's too many names, all right? Like, it shouldn't be Jordan in it. Whatever, I get it. This Jumpman brand. It's fine. The colorways are whack. The maroon one is okay. I'm happy for him. He's a nice kid. Honestly, my focus is what team he's going to go on. What's his next team? Because he's not going to stay on the Pelicans.
Yeah, you said that. That's not very nice.
Fam, you know he is not staying on the Pelicans. That basketball
That's
team.
mean.
Why not? He played in the Garden.
Damn, he's only been in his second year. Leave him alone. Or third year, whatever it is.
Fam.
Leave that man alone.
The Pelicans are whack. You got 2 All-Stars on there, and most of the time you had JJ Redick, and you got Eric Bledsoe, which I'm not a fan of. But like, you can't
Who's their coach?
Oh, Stan Van Gundy. Whack. All right. Now, good defensive coach.
Is the game just passing by? Because he was good at one point. Why is he whack now? I don't get it.
I mean, he was good when Dwight Howard played with Orlando. Like, the game has passed him by. I am 100% on your side right now when that comes to coaching, because you were very big in the recycled coaching stuff. Oh, yeah. Like, get these old cats out of here. They got to go. Like, they got to go, because I really want to talk about, not this week, but after draft, because I want to do playoff prediction, even though people don't like doing that. I want to pick who we think are going to make the NFL playoffs, because I looked at last year's NFL playoffs. Oh, there's a lot of teams on there that they're not making the playoffs this year. And I'll tell you
that happens every year, though. There's always turnover. Like, teams that you wouldn't expect to miss, like, who missed? So 2 years ago, Pittsburgh missed, but then they went, like, what, 13-3 last year or something?
Barely made it. No one would have. No, they lost like 6 in a row or something, didn't they?
No, they started
out like
11-0.
Oh, okay. Then they lost the next like 4.
2-3 down the stretch to finish 13-3. But then they were trash in the playoffs because Ben's arm don't work no more. But that's what I'm saying is, like, I think the year before they were like 7-9. Like, that stuff always happens where it's like teams that you expect to be good mess up, and then the next year they're good again. So I wouldn't be surprised if, like,
I'm going to tell you,
I don't know how Cam is going to play, but I wouldn't be surprised if New England's good again.
I wouldn't be shocked, but I can tell you this, and I'm pretty confident in it. And I will save it for that week after the draft. We talk about this stuff. I don't think Buffalo making the playoffs next year.
Oh, you smoking them.
All right. Browns and Buffalo, I don't think they're making the playoffs this year.
Well, of course, the first one.
I also don't think...
They don't have a quarterback like Josh Allen. Fam, any team with Josh Allen is not missing the playoffs unless he is injured.
Josh Allen took an extreme jump when it came to as a quarterback, because we wouldn't have been shocked if the Buffalo Bills had got rid of him the year prior.
I made that point on here before.
I know, but...
He went from like maybe a bust to like a superstar overnight. Because even in the year when he took him to the playoffs the year before, it was all running game and defense.
Yeah, he was okay, though.
No, but they didn't win because he was just passing. Like, they didn't make it where they made it because he was a passer. They got away with, we run it a lot, we run play action, then he could throw every once in a while. But it went from that to, like, last year, he's like Patrick Mahomes Jr.
I already have my Super Bowl picks, too. So.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
The draft hasn't even happened yet.
It doesn't matter. Because the team that I have going to the Super Bowl plays no factor in the draft. So it doesn't matter. I'll save it, though.
Kansas City? I mean...
Some telling me Kansas City might have showed their cards against the Buccaneers, boy.
Kansas City had like 3 offensive linemen out. Like that made the whole game.
We said was going to play a big factor.
Yeah,
but
I didn't even know it at the time. But
Mahomes is so good. I would have expected a touchdown. That's how good he is.
Yeah, but that's one game. Bucks could have played out of their anuses for one game.
Not one regular season game. That was the Super Bowl.
I understand that, but you got 3. Fam, even the Raiders were the best team in the league the year they went to the Super Bowl in 2002, and then that center went down to Mexico and had that, like, what's that, bipolar or whatever, and when it got drunk and fought somebody or whatever happened, fam, the entire offense was in shambles just because the center missed the game. Imagine losing 3 offensive linemen the week of the Super Bowl or whatever.
Raiders make the playoffs?
No, of course not. Fam, you think I'm ever picking John Gruden-led team to make the playoffs? Get out of here. Now, I will say, Derek Carr was top 8-ish quarterback last year, so he's getting better. He's not, well, all right. If he does one more season like last year, then I'll say he's good. He belongs in the top 5-ish pantheon of Raiders quarterbacks. Oh, because they don't have many that are like really, really good. They have a couple.
Who's number 1?
Probably Stabler, but I mean Plunkett has an argument too. But Rich Gannon won an MVP. So I mean, if you're talking about just straight numbers, it's probably Gannon. But Gannon went to the Super Bowl. So, and I've been reading a lot of stuff lately that like Stabler's era, because of the era Stabler played in, he was very underrated in terms of statistics because of what the other quarterbacks were doing. Their numbers were so much worse. Like, even though his numbers looked bad, he was so much better than all the other quarterbacks that it's like it just was a bad era for offense or whatever.
What era was that? What year is that?
70s. That was when the Raiders were the best team of the decade.
But who was the quarterbacks then? Tarkenton?
What do you mean? Oh, of other teams?
Yeah. Who was then?
I don't know. I mean, well, Terry Bradshaw was one of them. You know his career numbers. I think he completed less than 50% of his passes for his career and threw more interceptions than touchdowns.
Yeah, but he got lucky enough to win, what, 5 Super Bowls?
I don't think it was that many.
4? 3? Whatever it was.
They won their fair share, but I don't think it was 5. But they also got a defense named a Hall of Fame caliber, like, defensive nickname. You don't get one of those, like, you don't get like Purple People Eaters or Steel Curtain or any of that unless you're good. I don't remember did the Ravens have a nickname when it was like 2001, 2002, 2003 Ravens or whatever that era was, or Ray Lewis and Sir Goose and all them?
Yeah, did they have a name? Who knows?
Derek Brooks and whoever else was there.
Derek Brooks
was
wasn't there.
Not Derek Brooks.
He was on the Buccaneers.
Well, they had another linebacker though. Bulware.
Oh, that's right.
They had another one besides Ray Lewis.
Who was a running back then? Jamal Lewis? Did Jamal Lewis get a Super Bowl with them?
I mean, he went to Cleveland.
He went to Cleveland at one point. I don't know.
I don't think the offense. I mean, they had Dilfer and Brad Johnson, so I don't think their offense was their forte.
Anyways, I got nothing else. You got anything else?
Travis 6.
You copping to keep?
No, I'm gonna cop to flip.
You think it's better than olives?
I don't think
it's
so.
Better than olives.
I don't think so.
It's better than olives because I can't wear olive pants with olive sneakers. So I can wear olive pants with khaki sneakers. Why do you need to wear olive pants? Because olive pants are fire.
You wear khaki pants with olive sneakers. I mean,
khaki pants with sneakers is whack.
Nah, you smoking.
That's only for people that work at Target. They just can't help themselves or they buy groceries. Chinos, you can get away with it sometimes, but if you wearing like a chinos with a Jordan, I don't know, man. That's like somebody who works in a call center.
Like
that's a call center outfit.
Cotton pants that are like sewed together like jeans, but are just twill pants or cotton pants or whatever.
What the heck is that? Jean khakis?
What are you talking about? Jean khakis.
You be knowing the ins and outs of stuff that I just don't be knowing about.
All right, man. I guarantee you own
You
pants
know,
like
how to sew pants, thread. I don't be knowing stuff like that.
The difference between slacks and jeans when it comes to the pockets is pretty obvious. I'm assuming you know the difference. The hands like go straight in the pockets on jeans, whereas they go in the sides on slacks. You know what I mean?
No joke. That right there just blew my mind because I'm like, oh yeah, you're right. I've never thought about it.
What do you mean you never thought about it?
You're right.
What's the difference between how a jean pair of pants is sewed together and how a slacks pair of pants is sewed together? It's way different.
You're right, but when you did that, I was like, oh shoot, you're right, because my chapstick goes down deeper in that pocket, and when I get my jeans chapstick, I gotta go like this.
That's suspect.
I got nothing else. You wanna go home? You done?
No.
You got super nachos?
Didn't I send you Travis Scott?
I'm copping Travis
Jordan
Scott.
1 low or whatever?
Oh, now that one looks way better than the high. The high in that fragment or whatever it is trash.
Who sent that? That's the homie. Like, he listens to podcasts, but he's a popular human. He's a Jordan 1 guy. What's the dude's name?
Oh, Mr. Unloved Ones.
Yeah. He was the one who had tweeted it. The picture of the Travis's.
They look way better than the high. I hate that high, the new one that's coming out. But that low, fire.
Well,
am I copping? Probably not. But, if we ask the plug for that, is that a possibility?
I'm sure anything is a possibility.
Wait a minute.
Hannah said he was in Beaverton, and that's where he got her shoe, because he got her something that was long sold out. I'm about to
make a list. You think you can give me Australians?
You just got to.
AirTech Challenge 2s?
I don't think you can get you stuff that's been out that long ago.
You got roller derbies?
Yes.
I'm copping khaki. If I get khaki Travis Scott's, I'm keeping those for certain.
Well, I don't know why.
Did you get Hyper Royal ones?
What's
Hyper Blues?
Oh, the ones that look like turbo greens? No, I lost on all my accounts. I lost for GS and men's.
Some in person, turbo greens are way better.
Well, the colors.
Blow them out of the water. The Carolina.
I mean, I haven't seen them in person, but
the University one might be better than the Hyper Blue. That Hyper Blue looks
The University
whack.
one is nice. I had one of those. Super nice. I probably should have kept it, but
Fam, do you like card wise right now?
No, I still, fam. You know how bad I want those Dunk Lows? What's those ones we want? I mean, I know you want black and whites, but what's those Curries? Fam, you know how bad I want those?
Oh, you don't want better than me.
All right.
Because I was looking at my closet and I said, well, if I sell 4 of these for $100, that's what it's going to come down to. No, because
I sold an SB the other day. I don't know if I said it on the show last time or not, and I have like $515 sitting there, and I was like, I could get.
Would you do that for a curry?
I could get curries and have like $100 left over, or I could buy more sports cars.
See, I'm thinking about doing.
I just need to get my PSA order back, and hopefully it's good, so I can have like pay all the credit cards off, and then have like still a stack of cash that I can reinvest.
I want Alma Manier 3s.
See, I mean, I want them, but I don't care about them like, Ricardo do. Y'all about to go to the end of the earth to get those.
Well, I'm trying to figure out if selling 10 pairs for $100 is
Why
worth
would you do that when you have some other stuff that's worth more?
I don't have a lot of stuff that you think is worth as much
you do.
as
You got more stuff than you tell people about.
Yeah, but it's not worth anything.
Yeah, it is.
But I want it too.
Yeah.
Now I could sell one, maybe get you're right. I mean, I could sell one thing and maybe get like 600.
You probably got like 9 Sakai's that people don't know about.
I do want the new one though. I hated the new one, but I want that khaki color one.
The Suns colorway is the best one.
Oh no, not in person.
Yeah, it is.
I saw it in person.
Where?
Somebody had it at the event thing.
It was probably fake.
Probably. It didn't pass PSA. All right, I'm done with this. You ready to go home? I don't remember what the secret sneaker was. I'm not saying it again. Doesn't matter. George,
well, if you don't remember what it is, you can't say it again.
I remember what it is.
I don't know. You put sports on there. You don't want to talk about sports? Or
I thought we kind of did a little bit.
Mookie got hit on the wrist yesterday. That's not good. Bellinger got a broken leg. That's not good. I mean, they won a World Series last year, so you got a 5-year moratorium.
I've been paying a lot more attention to baseball earlier than I usually do because typically I don't watch it until after All-Star break. But I haven't been paying much attention to the Dodgers because I just expect so much out of them. Like, I'm like, okay, they won again, cool. They're like, what, 13-3 right now?
Well, they won. They scored 1 run today. Right. Now, I don't know if that was because their other pitcher was good or they just were missing.
I've been paying a lot of attention to, like, the teams that, like, I picked for. So we never said on the podcast our Super Bowl picks. Clearly, we want the Dodgers to win. But World Series. But I had Padres and the White Sox are the 2 teams I thought, okay, I think they could do something. White Sox doing okay.
I mean, that would help me because I have a lot of Luis Robert cards. So
okay. And
I'm serious.
And the Padres are obviously really good. The record doesn't show it as much.
Oh, and I got a LaMelo card the other day, too. That was a big card.
From where?
No, like opening packs. Oh. Opening Prism hangers.
How much that worth?
Another plug helped me get.
How many card plugs you got?
Well, I got one who you know and who's been on the show before. So Johnny helps me get stuff that's in stores that people don't want. Like he'll get me baseball mega boxes because for the most part, people trying to flip stuff don't want the baseball stuff. It may change when Bowman comes out because Bowman's notoriously like a product that flips. Not for a lot, like not like Prism and Select Football do, but it flips. And then when Topps Chrome comes out, I may have problems on my hand. But so Johnny helps me get stuff that's like a little bit less desirable because he doesn't mind selling it to me for retail because, people probably not buying it from him on this channel. And then also I helped Johnny get some shoes for Janae. So it was kind of like, favor for favor or whatever. And then the other sneaker plug will help me on a certain website that sells... I don't think I can say it.
You got more plugs and cards than we did in sneakers.
I still would say the sneaker plug is better because he can get anything I want. I just don't ask as much as I ask for cards because cards is like... See, the difference is sneakers, you have a shot. Even though we know for the most part we're going to lose on sneakers or we're going to lose on Foot Locker, we still have a shot to buy stuff online for retail by just clicking a button. It doesn't exist like that for cards. Yes, if you get lucky, you can catch something on Target or Walmart, but fam, that stuff goes up at like when we're asleep. Like someone emailed me about the Select release that just happened on Target. I think it happened at 1 or 2 a.m. and there's no notifications or nothing. They just put the stuff online, and anyone who has a monitor gets the monitor, and everything's sold out. Man. So yeah, so all that you think monitors and like bots and stuff is bad for sneakers, at least regular people can win by knowing like little hints and tips and like sneakers accounts and stuff like that. You can't win cards online. That's impossible. You would have to be up at all hours of the day following Twitter and like, because there's some accounts that will like tweet it out when they notice it's online. But for the most part, it's impossible to get cards online. So that's the one difference where you almost are forced to pay over retail for cards if you want them. You good? You good falling asleep?
No, my eye is burning.
You almost are forced to pay over retail if you can't get it in a store because there's no online option. Whereas sneakers, like, you're going to get lucky every once in a while. I mean, you got, on sneakers? Christmas dunks? Like, that's an $800 shoe. The equivalent for that would be you getting, like, a freaking hobby box that somebody wants for, like, $100 or something. You know what I mean? Like, that's crazy.
That was the only dunk I got that year, too.
No, you got Syracuse's.
Yeah, but that got a plug.
Yeah, but still, you got Syracuse's.
Look how white this is. Huh?
It is. I was trying to figure out what was on the front. Like, why is it plain? I realized it says world famous.
It says world famous.
It's kind of tight how it says world famous, but the stuff on the back is
yeah, I like the hat. I was really going to sell this because I don't know how I copped it. I told you. I just was like, I clicked the X, and that was it.
What do you mean?
Remember I told you that, like, I looked at my account. I was like, "Who took $67 bucks?"
I thought you were saying like it's hard to buy on Supreme.
No, and I was like, "Well, I'll just sell it on StockX," but the prices on my size just wouldn't move. I would have lost, about $15.
Yeah.
So I was like, "Yeah, whatever." But then I was like, "You know what? I will with this. Good. Got the fit, and I'm wearing. Look at that. And I'm wearing my European Air Force Ones. I haven't wore an Air Force One in about 15 years. This is the first Air Force One I've wore in about 15 years. Actually, you know what? Maybe longer. The last time I wore Air Force One, I was 23 years old.
Top 5 Air Force One of all time.
Okay. I was 23. Look at that.
Don really be getting offended when I say stuff about Air Force Ones. So, like, I think he actually takes offense.
No, Don does. Don takes everything you say a little harder. Because you say certain things to certain people a little harsher than you do. Yeah, you do. Don is one of them.
He's a Broncos fan. Like,
Don is one of them. Rico has very thick skin.
No, but Rico deserves to have people talk crazy to him, just like Phil does. Like, I don't talk crazy to Don. That's just like, he's a Bronco fan, so he might throw barbs about sports. And then obviously Air Force Ones, I talk to like that to everyone. I don't care who it is. I don't care if you love Air Force Ones or hate Air Force Ones. Didn't Laces get mad about it too?
These look fire on my feet though. They don't? With the short shorts and the crew stand socks?
Man, if you don't chill.
Okay. Clearly you on something different today.
Don's far from the first person to get mad at me for clowning Air Force Ones. Let's put it that way.
All right.
But nah, me and Don just got banter. Like, he's a Bronco fan. I'm a Raider fan. There's a natural rivalry. I sent him and Johnny a picture of a card I got last night, and it was KJ Hamler, who plays for the Broncos, and Don was like, yeah, it's worth a lot because he's a Bronco. I was like, man, it's a fucking Bronco.
It'd be worth more if he was a Ford Bronco.
That's what I said. AC Cowlings. What's his name? Al Cowlings.
Damn, did you see that Twitter post? It was somebody wearing a O.J. Simpson hoodie, and he was running like the Heisman pose, and his shoes were Broncos. I fell over.
Somebody should have made that like 10 years ago.
One of the most fire hoodies I've ever seen in my life. Last question I did have for you. Why are the Yankees whack?
Why are the Yankees?
I have been paying
what's
attention.
The record? Are they bad?
Like 5-10 or something.
Oh.
They suck.
Well, the Braves started bad too. Aren't the Braves like 5-9 or something?
But I think a couple of their players are getting hurt too.
Well, Acuna just got hurt. Acuna had hit 7 home runs in the first 8 games.
Yeah, he hit like a grip of them. I don't know about what Freddie is doing.
I haven't paid, as funny as it is, because I have obviously a lot of money invested in cards. You would think I'd be paying attention to all these games. But I spend every minute that I'm at home, not at work, is literally, when I'm at home during working hours, I'm working. But every minute that I'm not working is literally listing stuff on eBay. It's a lot of work.
Fam, take the wife out for a night on the town. No.
I'm not talking about on the weekend. I'm talking about during the week, you freak.
Go paint the town red. What does that even mean? I got into an argument about somebody about...
I guess you get drunk and you puke everywhere.
Being caught red-handed. And I was like, what does that even mean? And it's murder, in the Irish community.
That's where it started?
Yeah, you get caught with blood in your hand. I was like, oh, okay.
No, red-handed. Okay. Why did it start in Ireland?
Because when you put your hands in your jeans...
yes, they go straight in instead of sideways.
I'll go home. No, I'm ready to go home. I got stuff to do. That's the thing. Bye, 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 bye.